I think it's just talking quietly, maybe, so we're not picking each other up. Which is going to be hard because we're yellers.
It's ASMR.
Actually, you're going to open us up to a whole new demographic.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast. Your bi-weekly podcast delivers an episode-by-episode breakdown of the original G1 series. This is our episode 181. Is that right, Ryan?
182.
Are you sure?
I am positive.
Okay, we're covering...
Making it wrong for going on 15 episodes.
We're doing something a little different today, but also a little the same. We're covering the 1986 masterpiece, The Transformers.
Wait, didn't we already do that?
For 89
episodes?
hours or so.
This is your host, Aaron, and with me are the Vision and Santa Cruz to my very own Powell Peralta. Please introduce yourselves, gentlemen.
I do not understand that reference.
I'm Caleb. Woo!
I'm Ryan. What is that?
Caleb, do you know?
Nope, I'm just going, woo!
Skateboard brands, come on.
Oh, Jesus.
Didn't you guys bust ollies back in the day?
No.
Skating is not a crime.
What about Wallies?
No.
What about boneless?
No.
What about frontside boneless?
Yep, I did that one.
What about kickflip?
What, did you?
Strawberry milkshake?
Goofy foot?
Did you have a skateboard?
Yeah,
I had a skateboard. I just wasn't terrible
You had a
at it.
skater cut. I remember your haircut was totally skater.
Oh, I don't know if I had a skater cut.
With your Ocean Pacific t-shirt on.
I had an OP t-shirt.
Yeah, we all did. That's the only thing that JCPenney would sell for a few years.
Skater style was the jam in the late 80s, early 90s.
It was.
That you called your clothes threads.
Yeah.
Somebody out there was really excited that maybe we'd get into skateboarding chat, and
Was
now
it
they're
Mike
very
Malibu?
disappointed.
Yeah. Oh, well. I just wasn't good on one.
I remember I bought one. I put Nathan Fields was really into it, and so I got into it. But I didn't know anything about it. I just liked the accoutrements, so I went and put one together at the skating store. Got a bunch of grip tape, made it look real shitty. Couldn't ride it.
Yeah.
So you were a poser, as they might have called you in the
Absolutely.
skating community.
Absolutely.
I wasn't ever that great as well, but I tried a lot. I loved trying to skateboard, but I could do a mediocre ollie. That's about it.
I was a pussy. I was too scared to try.
I did go to a skate park. I did hit
Radz.
Radz
Radz
skate
Skate
park.
RADC.
And I did get on the half pipes, but I was never good at them.
That's cool. You tried.
I did what they call I could fakie. That's just where you get momentum going up and down the thing.
Someone pushes you, and you're like, brace yourself.
They just told me to hold a rope, and on the other end was a riding lawnmower.
Well, whatever works for you.
I played TNC Skate Design.
Oh yeah,
That fucking game sucks.
it was like TNC Skate and Surf, or
I think it was skate. There was another one. There were two that were very similar, and
you're either
one
surfing or skateboarding.
had a skater, like the skate guy who was running the shop looked like a punk Rodney Dangerfield.
Did you ever have one of the mini skateboards that you could use on your desk? You know?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't good at ollieing with those either.
No, I was.
They're too
and
small.
I was a pussy. I was scared to try that too.
I sprained my finger. Ow!
Never again.
All right, well, I hope that
Someone enjoyed that.
skate talk was sufficient for everybody. Hey, clearly, we said we're going to be covering Transformers the movie 1986, and we've spent a lot of time in the past talking about that movie.
Much time.
But we wanted to go back in time now that Five Faces is over and do one more rapid fire retrospective.
Why not another bite at the apple? Because nobody asked for it.
But you already know all of our blistering boomer takes on all the individual
Gen X, please.
Not a boomer,
moment of the movie, and I'm sure plenty of these dusty old men out there have their own takes. Seen it a million times. You've memorized it. You're probably one of those people that yell out the funny parts at the screen in unison with the characters. Don't do that. That's a jackass move. But you're not self-actualized, so
Oh my!
I've
Why
got to
are
tell you.
What is this?
But to make things interesting and provide a garden fresh perspective on this rusty old movie, we brought in some youthful, saucy, impudent, sassy,
Saucy or sassy?
brazen. We brought in some
Are
personalities.
you barbecuing? What's happening?
That until recently have never seen the 1986 movie that we all know and love. And with that, you know and love these people. You miss them. I'm privileged to welcome back to the APDC Harper and Kit from the legendary More Than Meets the Pod.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
I heard you needed some millennials.
You're
I would also
You're a
like to add, I had a razor scooter growing
Oh.
up.
could
We
you bust
bought
tricks?
skateboards over the pandemic, and I can't skate.
But you tried it out over the pandemic?
Yeah.
You know,
Cool.
this is funny because I re-listened. The last time you guys were on was the Immobilizer episodes, 126 and 127 of our show, and we recorded almost exactly 2 years ago, right at the beginning of the pandemic, and I re-listened to it. By the way, we're all very funny
Yeah.
on that, so go listen to APDC MTMTP.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking like, this will probably be. We'll definitely go to Chicago in October.
Oh God.
No.
Well, it's just hindsight's 20.
But yeah, we
How
wanted-
how optimistic did we sound about the
We just
pandemic?
didn't know.
we didn't know, but
Of
it was
course.
like I mean,
It had only been a month or two.
Yeah.
You know.
that was the first one we all did remote.
Yeah,
and it
that's right.
shows.
Yeah.
I sound like
Yeah, I remember.
do remember-
the birthday parade.
Yeah.
yes, the parade for your grandmother, Caleb.
No, not my grandmother, my
your
aunt.
aunt,
By
that's
the
right.
way,
And wait, this is an official APDC and update.
she just turned 102
Good
a couple
Lord.
of weeks
Oh
ago.
my God.
Yes.
I think
I was
God
so afraid
forgot
you were
about
gonna
me.
tell us that she had died.
And here she
I was
is,
very
right
afraid.
here. No, she's 102. She actually she finally moved out of that house last year into assisted living, but she's blind pretty much, but she's still as witty as ever, and she scrutinizes all of her receipts with a magnifying glass.
God bless her.
I moved to this living facility to catch some dick.
Oof.
They do say that those places are just
full,
rampant with STDs.
Yeah,
Old people got
I have heard
fucked
that.
too.
That is true.
I can't wait.
The elderly and koalas.
Yes,
They're bringing back old school STDs, like
like cripple foot and drop butt.
Drop butt.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
Lord.
oh my gosh.
She's still here. We're still here. Here we are.
Yeah, we're all still alive.
Yes,
That's
we
crazy.
did it.
Glad.
Did it.
As far as I know, I am the only one of the three of us who haven't gotten COVID, but I don't think I did.
We all tried really hard.
It was just recently
No
you
COVID
guys got
here.
it.
No COVID.
Oh,
Somehow.
I
Nice.
caught it.
Good for you
What
guys.
is it? Like a month ago, and I don't know. I hate fucking COVID stories.
It is-
Anyway, I
it
got
is-
it. I
yeah.
got it. It was for me. It wasn't too bad, but I got lucky. So there we go. I'm a fortunate person.
Well, if you really want to avoid it, I recommend being unemployed for a year
Yeah,
Good.
and then half employed for another 6 months.
yeah.
I personally would
strategy.
recommend going to almost zero social events for
Yeah.
3 years and wearing a mask all the time, even though nobody else at work is doing
Right.
it. And
Yeah.
apparently smoking weed, because that is good for helping your lungs block COVID.
There you go.
Nice. THC.
I didn't know that. I'm going to start smoking.
There
weed
is
right
actual
now.
scientific evidence for that. I'm not actually making a goof here.
No,
Oh,
I-
wow.
I totally believe you. No, I mean,
find the
I'm not
article.
going to follow up with research, but I believe you too.
I don't blame her, but my wife went to Chicago and brought it back with her.
That sounds like blaming.
Oh,
She
that
went-
deep dish COVID.
She went to which is funny. She went to a Golden Girls convention in Chicago, and she went to Golden Con and brought back COVID from Golden Con. So
Phenomenal.
yeah, she said it was a really good time. So
Was it worth it?
oh yeah, well since I didn't die, yeah, it was totally worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, we basically we talked about whether we would even review this movie again, because just when we started doing the episodes, we did season 1 and 2, and then there's the movie, and we weren't sure we even had anything interesting to say, so that's when I kind of reached out to you guys and was like, do you want to be on the show? Because I don't know if we have anything interesting to say, and basically because you hadn't seen it, I just thought it would be interesting.
So thank you.
I mean, I was so happy for the opportunity to watch it because we wanted to, watch it in order with the rest of G1, and then everything fell apart and we got busy. But watching it again was, I think, how do I best describe it? My partner Elliot was on a Discord call with some of their friends when we watched it for the first time, and the direct quote I have is, they told their Discord friends, oh yeah, no, they watch Transformers like it's a sporting event.
We were hooting and hollering,
clapping, and it was such a good time.
I understood why white people clap at the end of movies. I got it.
It really felt like just kind of a revitalization of why we love Transformers so much,
and specifically G1, because it really just feels like 4 G1 episodes just smashed together, put in a blender, and then poured out on the table.
But they're actually coherent, well written, and consistently animated well.
Mostly animated well.
Yeah, there were a few flubs, but honestly, the animation was pretty good.
Yeah,
without a doubt. So yeah, we appreciate you helping breathe some vigor back into this movie. Real quick, if you all don't mind, remind the audience, just who you are, what's up, what's your connection to Transformers.
The origin story.
That's right.
I came home from work one day and Kit was watching Transformers Prime, and I was like, okay, I'll sit here, but I'm not going to pay attention. And then 4 episodes later, I was like, fuck, I'm in it. And then we just kind of spiraled from there, and just kept collecting more and more continuities in different media and things like that, and just trying to get as much as possible. And I had been wanting to do a podcast for years, and I had all the equipment that I wasn't using. We just kind of looked at each other and was like, what if, for goofs and giggles, we just did a podcast? And then we did.
I came to Transformers in, I want to say 2009, 2010. Started with, I had seen the Transformers 07 movie, but didn't really spiral into anything off of that. But my ex and I watched all of Transformers animated, and that got me pretty good. And then Transformers Prime rolled around not too long after that. So getting to watch something that was actually, watch it as it was airing was incredible. And I've just kind of, wandered in and out of Transformers fandom over the years. And then, like Harper said, I just started watching it for a comfort show a few years back. And it got a little out of hand. I remember specifically the text that I got from Harper was when I was on vacation in Shenandoah. And I just got a text that was like, hey, what if we did a podcast? Mm-hmm. I was like, you know what? Let's go for it.
That's a very compelling origin story. How did that podcast become G1 centric, given that your interests had been Prime up to that point?
I would argue that it was kind of half and half the entire time.
True.
Mostly because doing deep dive research episodes every single week was not going to be feasible with the amount of emotional labor that was going into my work at the time. So I think for us, G1 and Done was kind of let's go back to the beginning, see where everything started, and kind of let that enrich our enjoyment of modern day Transformers.
It was also meant to be mini episodes in between the longer episodes, and then that got thrown out the door episode 2.
I know, by the time we got to season 2 and we're like, okay, we're gonna take this 2 episodes at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were neck and neck on both of our shows for a while, and then you guys started doing 2, and I'm like, fuck.
It's okay, then we just fell off the face of the earth. And now you guys are way ahead of us.
Yeah, good luck. You'll figure out a way to catch up.
That season 2 is something else.
4 episodes per episode. Let's do it.
How far?
5 minutes.
Do you recall what episode was the last episode you all covered?
Hold on.
We did the immobilizer from you guys, and I'll let Harper dig that up. Although I guess I could just hop in my G-Docs.
Oh, I was just going to go to our Spotify.
They call it G-Docs.
Fair.
That's so cool. I'm so glad we got these youths on the show.
Are they talking? Are they talking about the Google documents?
We did episodes 15 and 16, and I genuinely can't even remember which ones those are.
So that's well into season 1 then.
That's the end
Season
of season
2.
1.
Oh, that's season 2.
So yeah, that's the beginning of season 2 at least.
IMDb. Because I can't remember.
We met Sea Spray and we met Perceptor.
What about the movie itself? Had you seen the movie up until before? Okay, so I'm seeing heads shake.
I recall.
No.
That's the exciting part is that they intentionally avoided the movie, which is amazing. That they had that kind of that kind of control.
I had seen the Instruments of Destruction scene because that just kind of goes around Twitter every so often.
Right.
Same.
Yeah, that was about it though.
Okay. And before we hop into it, how do you feel about 80s pop metal?
The soundtrack is so good. It's a perfect soundtrack.
What a pleasant
Yeah,
answer.
I honestly think that there couldn't have been a better mesh of content to music. Like it was perfect.
Yeah.
It really made me think that like we need more Weird Al on movie soundtracks.
That was so random.
So serious, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But again, it was so perfect. Everything coalesced.
As a kid, I don't even think I knew it was Weird Al.
I did because I had
years.
that. I'm pretty sure I had that single or I had that album.
Okay. I had no clue. Yeah, it's not a style of music that I typically go to, but in the context of the movie, it is
same.
perfect. But, when I'll remix it someday and I'll put in, like, I don't know, Sufjan Stevens in it. That'll fit tonally, right?
Sufjan Stevens over the death of Optimus Prime.
Perfect. All right, Ryan. Well, why don't you whip us up something worthy of a 85-minute runtime and a $6 million budget?
I'd be happy to.
What are we drinking today?
You'll see.
It's like he always tells us he's going to make it first.
All right. This is the Southside Cocktail. The origins of this drink are nebulous at best, with one likely apocryphal story being that it's a beverage that was enjoyed by Al Capone, whose gang dominated the south side of Chicago in the Prohibition era, hence Southside Cocktail. So, the recipe for this is 6 to 8 mint leaves, 2 ounces or 60 mils of gin, 1 ounce or 30 mils of lemon juice, 1 ounce of simple syrup. Combine all ingredients in a shaker and shake with ice. Then double strain into a chilled coupe glass. You don't have to double strain. It just removes the little bits of mint and stuff. Makes it kind of a cleaner looking cocktail. It's basically like a gin mojito or a gin daiquiri kind of. Aaron, did you hear any of that?
We had the riff.
The computer.
All I heard is blah 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 alcohol blah blah.
I heard Al Capone and mint leaves
Great.
in Chicago and juniper.
Nope.
Can we drink? Can we drink it yet?
Go ahead.
What are our friends on the other side of the nation?
I sent the recipe.
So we had to riff a little bit because I can't have mint.
Oh.
And we're just kind of putting it together this morning, and we have gin, lemon juice, and a honey simple syrup.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
I actually also just put some white peach Tarani, like simple syrup in there, and it's good.
It slaps.
Yeah, really good drink.
Slaps
Ryan.
a little.
He's allergic to mint.
Cheers, everyone.
Is it an allergy?
It's not an allergy. I have a horrible restricted diet because my stomach acid is trying to burn my esophagus out.
Yikes.
Fun.
So mint induces
So mint
like a
is-
reflux type of.
Yeah, so there's like 12 big foods that I cannot eat, and mint is one of them.
Okay.
Harper and I have a lot of crossover on our food restriction list.
This is the very first time I've ever heard of anybody having mint issues.
Well, if you take
Because isn't it normally known as kind of a calming
that's
herb?
I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever.
either.
Hey, I'm not.
If you take the mint out of this and half the simple, you've got a Tom Collins.
Oh.
You could actually add club soda to it to make it a Southside Fizz. Bartending's
Well,
fun.
that's fun.
Caleb, do you find this to be
It is quite refreshing.
okay? Good.
Yeah.
Had to fit the tagline.
We've got a running joke where I always say, it's refreshing.
Except unless it's an Aqua Velva cocktail.
Ugh.
It was not. It was not. You know what? I drank it.
Isn't Aqua Velva an aftershave?
Yeah, it's named after the aftershave. The idea is that in World War II, sailors used to drink Aqua Velva aftershave because it has a lot of alcohol in it. And then there's this cocktail from the 70s called an Aqua Velva, which is basically equal parts gin and vodka, and then I think just Sprite and blue curacao.
So.
But it tasted like
I was wondering if blue curacao was going to come in there.
I like it.
My good
These two
friend.
guys did not. It's the first one where I've been the only one who liked the drink.
Up front, I didn't like it. It got a little better as I drank more of it, but
that's what booze does for you.
This is true.
Yeah, but
this is satisfying my alcoholic
I hate
needs.
the first half of a gin and tonic, but I love the second half of a gin and tonic.
I find, well, to take Caleb's word, I find gin and tonics like on a hot day quite refreshing. Mm-hmm. But then
You and me both, bud.
I love gin.
One of our
I'm
listeners.
drinking on average one drink every 6 months at this point, so.
I'm making up for it.
I pretty much just drink here now.
Well,
Yeah,
if you would like to buy us a drink,
Yes.
we
I
have
forgot. We have a hustle.
We have a
Sorry.
new promotion. Just donate $5 to our PayPal, which is at APODcast. Tell me what you'd like to drink and maybe why, and your name and anything else you want me to shout out, and I'll make your cocktail selection on the show. Also, if you're a patron at any level, just message me, and I'll make it free of charge, although everyone who is our patron who did it is so far paid us. But we had one of these drinks our last episode, and we have a Buy Us a Drink cocktail in our next episode after this one, and a couple more coming up after that.
Fantastic.
At APODcast on PayPal, buy us a drink.
Is that Men's Shave Club money not coming through?
We haven't. When the promotion ends in a couple days, we'll see if we actually get any money out of it.
Yeah.
If I shaved, I would.
The Aqua Velvet. One of our listeners was going to take that
Josh.
recipe
Oh.
and do it for a party. I don't
Michael.
think it was Josh.
Michael.
Oh, tub juice? Tub juice Aqua Velva?
What?
Say that again.
Oh, tub juice, like jungle juice.
Oh, I think he was going to make a bunch of... Because I made it with just vodka. I like it. I didn't like it with gin and vodka, which is rare because I like gin better than vodka. But I just made it with vodka, and then traditionally it's half and half. And he said he sent us a message saying he was going to try 3 different versions of it. All gin, all vodka, and then a split.
Why?
Oops, all gin.
I'm glad we inspire him. But yeah.
I tried to say that if they want to maintain their reputation, they just shouldn't do this.
You
Don't
did actually say that.
Make
You didn't
it a
try to
party
say it.
drink, but they're whatever. They're risk takers.
We've had quite a response to this promotion.
Yeah,
I didn't know if people would find this naked cash grab to defer booze cost off-putting, but they seem to like
They're
it.
on board, and it's been successful.
Yeah, I may suspend it at some point, depending on how many other submissions I get, because I've got a few that are coming up, and there are a few drinks I'd like to personally make on the show, and Season 3 isn't a super long one, but get in while the getting's good, and it's fine, because we're going to do Beast Wars. Fuckers.
So you're gonna do reverse psychology. Stop buying us a drink.
There's a little of that in there. Like, get it. Oh, you better hurry.
No gifts, please.
Oh
no gifts.
we're getting too drunk.
Yeah. Oh.
People do love those
I
limited
have the
time
perfect
offers.
cocktail for a Beast Wars Megatron.
What is it?
Oh, it's probably just like a blue moon.
Oh, right on.
It's like purpley blue, so it's perfect.
I try to wedge in that we're going to do Beast Wars at every opportunity because it's going to be an uphill fight to get them to do it.
Yeah. In
I
fact,
have the perfect cocktail
so
for
good.
Beast Wars Optimus. Just make a brass monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that from this song, but what I just assumed Brass Monkey was a malt beverage. What is a Brass Monkey?
I think it's that plus orange juice.
I don't know anything.
I think
about
it's like a Mad Dog 40 plus orange juice. I don't drink any of these things, so I could be talking out of my ass. I'm googling now.
It sounds like the
me
perfect drink
too.
for when you're hanging
I
at the
thought-
lockers getting kind of funky.
I thought it was some kind of really cheap fortified wine, but I could be totally off on that.
I wanted to make, speaking of fortified wines, I wanted to make the Sham Pipple from Sanford & Son, but they no longer create Ripple, and you can buy it off eBay if you want to spend $900 for a 40-year-old bottle.
That was questionably stored.
Yeah.
Not that it matters with Ripple, probably.
Yeah,
But
I guess I could make it with Mad Dog, but
Also, I just realized I've been so foolish. Like the perfect Beast Wars Megatron cocktail, it has to be. There's got to be a purple. There's a purple Four Loko. It's just that.
cool.
Gross.
He's absolutely insane. I love him.
Sorry. Wait, rewind. I was distracted. You said a Four Loko?
Yeah, just a purple Four Loco, Beast Wars Megatron.
I would like to counter with the drink that made me break a mirror in my room in the first house I moved into out of college, which was called the Grapes of Wrath, which is just Everclear and grape soda.
Oh, Jesus.
This sounds like some real Buffalo.
That was the
culture.
only time I had ever had a full day hangover the next day.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it's not surprising.
Yeah. Good Lord. You broke it
I like how
intentionally. You were
They
like,
had to break it.
you were like, yeah, or like you like.
No, I'm pretty sure I like went upstairs. I lived in the shittiest house you can possibly imagine directly out of college. And the floor of my room was not even in the slightest. It was like a significant grade from door to windows. And I don't remember what I was doing, but I think I just like stumbled and like slammed up against it with my hand. It was one of those shitty like $5 Walmart mirrors.
Yeah.
And then like the next morning I was like, oh,
I broke a mirror.
I broke a mirror.
Better. I'm glad it wasn't a window. But
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Caleb, didn't you live
have
Wilhelm scream.
Can I issue a correction about a brass monkey?
Please.
Yes.
It is a pre-mixed like canned cocktail, but the drink's actual ingredients are vodka, orange juice, and dark rum.
Oh, okay.
So I was right on the orange juice and the fact that it was pre-mixed.
Interesting.
I'm glad we've cleared that up for all the Beastie Boys fans out there.
Mm-hmm. We cut off with all that hate mail we were going to get.
Yeah, it's true. Those people are just insufferable. How about Ryan? I believe you have a trivia game.
I do have
you?
a game, a short little game.
Okay.
It's called Buffalo Down Dirty Shame.
Buffalo down.
Buffalo Down Dirty Shame.
Yeah, Buffalo down dirty shame.
Okay.
It's the title is really has nothing to do with the game. It took me about 3 seconds to come up with that wordplay. So originally Caleb was going to come up with a trivia game for us to play, but on Thursday he texted us to say he didn't have time to do it, which makes sense because he only had 6 weeks of lead time to know about it.
No.
No?
Hey, we only watched this movie for the first time last Saturday.
Yeah, I rewatched it on Friday. I hadn't seen it in so long. So this game is kind of thematically loosey-goosey. I started up looking at interesting information on Buffalo, New York, and it degenerated into a mishmash of weird facts, cryptids from the New York State area, and then meanders into true crime.
Of course.
Okay.
But it's my
wow, we
segment,
might
it's
have
a
a
free show. So.
Yeah, I might have a chance.
In all fairness, Caleb's games are very fun, and this one is similar, where I just front-load some information, ask a multiple-choice question, and then give you some more info on the subject after you all guess. So you might want something to write down your answers. It's only 4 questions.
Okay.
Oh my god, my Swerve notepad is right next to me.
Here's a few little just lead-up facts about Buffalo, New York, which I guess I should say that's where you guys live, right?
Doxing much.
Close to
Around there? Okay. I forget how big New York State is because when I looked it up on a map, I realized Buffalo is twice as close to Cleveland and Pittsburgh as it is to New York City.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Cleveland's a day trip.
Yeah.
Like 2 hours.
Buffalo is the second largest city in the U.S. state of New York with a population of 278,000 and is situated on the eastern end of Lake Erie at the head of the Niagara River across the Canadian border from southern Ontario. Buffalo and nearby Niagara Falls make up the 2-county Buffalo-Niagara Falls metro area with an estimated population of 1.1 million people. And Buffalo was selected as the terminus of the Erie Canal, which led to the city's incorporation in 1832. That's my announcer voice.
Awesome. Love it.
Yeah, no.
So it's not that
that's all
much
true.
bigger than Springfield.
It's
sounds
about
like.
twice as big.
I guess depending on how they count the surrounding area.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Our city proper is about 170,000. Okay, our first question centers on the historic Old Fort Niagara, located at the mouth of Niagara River in Youngstown, New York. This monster is one of the region's oldest spooks. In 1804, a cryptid haunted a drunken piper named John Carroll, who was thrown in the fort's black hole of solitary confinement overnight for getting smart with the commandant, Major Moses Porter. Late into the night, a creature showed up and tormented poor John Carroll throughout the night. What form did this monster take? Was it A, a witch, B, a specter, C, a hobgoblin, or D, a giant snake?
I want to make sure I
wow,
understand
don't
this
know
question.
This one. I'm delighted.
So a guy thought he saw a ghost of
He was
some
thrown
sort.
into a jail cell for all intents and purposes and was accosted by some kind of creature.
Okay. And one more
A
time.
witch, B, a specter, C, a hobgoblin, D, a snake.
And
This is a mistake, but I'm going for it.
So I wrote my
Can
answer.
I add some flavor text to this?
Please.
I was in 6th grade. Every grade before us had gone to Splash Lagoon down in Erie indoor water park. And then my grade came up and they're like, guys, we have an exciting new field trip for you this year. We're going to go to Niagara Falls and Old Fort Niagara.
You lucky kids.
So you know the answer to this, I'm sure.
I don't, actually.
I'm sure it's on a placard somewhere.
All right.
My only excuse is I'm not actually a Buffalo native.
Well, there you go.
Do we want to go around? Caleb, what'd you pick?
How do we? You want to start with me, and then we'll go round.
Let's go around. Yeah.
Okay. So I went with the giant snake. D.
Okay. Aaron.
Hobgoblin. C.
All right. Kit.
I went with Spectre. B.
I also went with Spectre.
Okay. The answer is C. A hobgoblin.
Wow.
Oh.
I wasn't even sure if the concept of a hobgoblin existed back
The
when.
site that I read this on said that when people ask him what a hobgoblin is, he says, think of this fucking asshole. He said, think of a goblin and then make it more hobblier.
Picture a goblin. Now Hobbit.
So yeah, the answer is C, a goblin. John Carroll spent the night wailing loudly and piteously, begging for a light, a piece of paper, and a pen. That night, he wrote the song Carroll's Thoughts on Eternity, inspired by the hobgoblin that accosted him all night long. The song is also known as Carroll's Maggot.
What?
And you can find it on YouTube.
We'll have to.
Can we take a break to listen to that?
I was gonna do like the point of like originally this question was gonna be, I'll do some lyrics from that. That'll be fun to make up lyrics. It's instrumental.
I'll take a stab at it. We're gonna do like a brass monkey thing, just like hobgoblin, not hobby goblin.
Those crazy goblins.
We need to add lyrics. We need to add lyrics to the instrumental.
It's
We'll freestyle.
It's a fun little like fluty, like make your knees jump song. It's white people music.
Makes you hob around.
Yeah.
It's a good hobbin song.
All right, question number 2. Former President Grover Cleveland lived in Buffalo from 1854 to 1882. Which of the following is true about Mr. Cleveland? A. He killed 2 people. B. His real first name was Rosalind. C. He was the only president never to be married. Or D. His last words were, "This is a pity."
Oh man, that's a tough one.
He killed 2.
These are not like things I know, so good job.
I mean, I know one of those answers is wrong.
3 of them are wrong.
Well, yeah, but I know.
Gotcha.
Can I get those answers again?
Yep.
Real quick?
A, he killed 2 people. B, his real first name is Rosalind. C, he's the only president never to be married. Or D, his last words were, "This is a pity."
Okay. Thank you.
That's my Cleveland. Do you like it?
I can hear the mustache.
Yeah. Okay, so I so badly want to say that it's D, but I'm leaning towards A, that he killed 2 people.
Okay.
B. Rosalind.
Okay.
I picked A because I think it's funny if he kills you.
All right. Harper.
I also went B, Rosalind.
The answer is A, he killed 2 people.
Tell us about it. How?
Cleveland was Erie County's sheriff in the 1870s, and it was his duty to either execute convicted murderers himself or pay a fee for another party to do so. Cleveland, who was notoriously tight-fisted, chose to personally hang Patrick Morrissey in 1872 and John Gaffney in 1873 rather than pay the $10 to avoid it, which, to be fair...
That's classic Erie County.
Yeah.
That is like, straight up and down. Pinching pennies.
Yeah.
for
I mean, in
as long
today's money, it would have been $240 a pop.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hey,
Oh my God.
he's spending the community's money like it's his.
That's
The
right.
history of Erie County sheriffs is fucking abysmal. Oh,
Really?
hi, Basil.
As to the other
Take a
options,
look at that bitch.
Grover's first name was actually Stephen. James Buchanan is the only U.S. president to remain a lifelong bachelor. And Cleveland's last words were very sad, actually. "I have tried so hard to do right."
But then he.
Okay.
Those will be my
It also
But I
last
sounds
words.
killed
like,
2 men.
yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
like he has some other dark secrets.
See, the one that I knew was the James Buchanan one.
Yeah.
I think Grover Cleveland probably killed around 200 people in his lifetime.
Yeah.
He was the H.H. Holmes of Buffalo.
Yeah.
He was also our only non-consecutive president to serve 2 terms, which I know because of Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
God bless you.
And the next one will be Donald J. Trump.
How dare you?
Come on. Well, that's. I don't even
How dare you?
Is it a bad auditory experience if I throw up on the microphone?
Yeah.
Well, Aaron does.
We can use it for. Use that for
But it's
later.
totally understood.
Yeah, Aaron does want to turn this into a morning zoo crew show. So.
Yeah.
Any like springy boing sound effects you could also generate. We'll use those. Clown horns.
Number 3. This famous criminal with an explosive personality once called Buffalo, New York, home. He worked for a brief time at the Buffalo Zoo, where he used to constantly annoy his co-workers with long diatribes about all the evils of the United States government.
Oh, God.
Is the answer... There's only 3 choices. Is the answer A, Eric Robert Rudolph, former explosives expert for the U.S. Army who bombed the 1996 Summer Olympics in Atlanta in 1996, killing 2 and injuring 11? B, Timothy McVeigh, a Gulf War Army veteran who parked a Ryder truck with 3.5 tons of explosives outside the Mira Federal Building in Oklahoma City in 1995, killing 168 and injuring more than 680 on April 19th, 1995.
I know. Ryan goes for the. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Or C, our perennial favorite, Ted Kaczynski, former math professor who moved to a homemade shack in Montana and killed 3 people and injured 23 others with mail bombs between 1978 and 1995.
I was wondering when this was going to start going really dark, and
my
it's
God.
of course. This is what happens when you got
What's
Ryan.
the
when you got
original
Ryan
question
steering
again?
the ship.
The original question is, this famous criminal called Buffalo, New York home, worked at the Buffalo Zoo and was annoying because he kept talking about the United States government and how bad it was.
Okay, I'm going to go with C. I'm going to do a Kaczynski.
C,
I
Ted Kaczynski.
agree.
All right.
I'm guessing McVeigh. I feel like I remember knowing this, but I can't remember who it was.
All right.
I also went with McVeigh.
Well, you're both right. The answer is B, Timothy McVeigh.
Why am I celebrating?
Yay!
No, I just was like, oh,
You're
man.
celebrating the ambient trauma of living in Buffalo.
Oh, he exploded 19 children.
Hey, but highest body count of the 3. So
By far.
So the next question's not going to be as dark, right?
That's the sad one. I
Thank
also
God.
looked, I had as a third or a fourth answer, the guys who bombed the Boston Marathon, but it got too sad.
Yes, thank you for
Yeah.
stopping yourself. I really actually appreciate your restraint.
Timothy McVeigh worked at the Buffalo Zoo in the 80s and used to bring in his combo TV and VCR to show his coworkers separatist and survival videos about the evils of the U.S. government and the ATF FBI attacks on Ruby Ridge and the Branch Davidian compound in Waco.
I want to imagine it's one of those rolly carts like we had in school, you know?
Like an AV squad?
Yeah, with the TV.
Just wheeling it into the elephant enclosure,
Yeah.
like, okay, guys.
Don't
he
yeah.
has to adjust the tracking.
Don't you know
every
his
time.
Don't you know his coworkers are like? And by the way, where was the supervision here? I mean, can you say no?
Oh, his supervisor told him not to do it anymore, but he kept doing it and was eventually fired.
Okay, there you go. Well, good for them for that.
Yeah, he was
I
actually.
feel like that's how my coworkers see me. I talk a lot about the evils of, capitalism and the government.
Well, as long as you're not wheeling in a TV VCR combo,
blowing up federal
No.
buildings.
blowing up federal buildings.
I don't have the know-how or the willpower to
Right,
do that.
we're here for you.
The
then.
Oklahoma City bombing was actually 2 years to the day after Waco, and that was purposeful. Timothy McVeigh was a Gulf War veteran, and he loved the band Bad Company so much that's what he renamed their Bradley fighting vehicle. Bad Company, the song Bad Company off the album Bad Company.
Please move on.
One more Timothy McVeigh fact. He was also a sports gambler and unfortunately a fan of the Buffalo Bills in the 1990s when the NFL team went to and lost 4 consecutive Super Bowls from 91 to 94.
Oh, Timothy, that's a rookie mistake.
You think by like the 4th one, you're just like, well,
He was like, it's
maybe-
mathematically impossible that they'll lose this fourth
Okay,
one.
no, hang on. Harper, you've lived here for, 4 straight years? How do you not believe that everybody in Buffalo, you've seen the last several seasons, we get all the way up to the end and everyone's like, this is it, this is going to be the year, and then we lose and we get kicked out and everyone's like, who could have foreseen this?
Wow, the Bills really shit the bed.
Maybe this time.
Every year.
Maybe this time.
Every
it'll be
goddamn year.
All right.
And
I think he's
Funny
still
every
alive,
year.
right? Is he in Denver or something? Where is?
Timothy McVeigh? No, he was executed.
Oh, he was executed. Okay.
By
Grover
by
Cleveland.
Grover
19
Cleveland.
I'm back from the grave.
Hey,
You're recounting.
what was his last words again?
I've tried so hard to do right.
And now he's come back. I'm going to do right now.
I've tried so hard to do right, and now I'm just gonna do wrong.
Our final question. The year was 1869. A tobacconist and enthusiastic atheist, George Hull, got into an argument with a Methodist reverend over Genesis 6:4, which talks about giant humans walking the earth. Completely unable to let it go, Hull spent several years and the modern equivalent of $60,000 commissioning a giant petrified human hoax quarried out of solid gypsum. The giant was 10 feet tall and 3,000 pounds, and despite the point of the whole thing being pwning the clergy, Hull would eventually forget all that and sell his interest in the giant for $500,000 adjusted for inflation. This 19th century ode to spite was known as the A, Niagara Neanderthal, B, the Cardiff Giant, C, the Cooperstown Creature, or D, the Solid Muldoon.
Oh, God. Holy shit. Read those 4 again.
A, the Niagara Neanderthal, B, the Cardiff Giant, C, the Cooperstown Creature, or D, the Solid Muldoon.
I'm going to go with Cardiff Giant, B.
All right.
I'll go with the Muldoon. I just like the way you said it.
Thank you. It's fun to say.
I'm torn between B and C, but I'm gonna go with C. I can't remember which one that was.
Cooperstown Creature?
Cooperstown Creature. I
All
just
right.
like the alliteration.
I'm also on Cooperstown Creature.
All right. The answer is B, the Cardiff Giant. The Cooperstown Creature was invented by me. That's not a thing. Also the Niagara Neanderthal, because I like
That
alliteration.
one sounded fake.
Yeah.
It was too easy.
I love seeing things done out of like insane, impotent rage. This guy, this evangelical atheist, completely lost his shit, and this one, like, it's so awesome. P.T. Barnum offered the syndicate who bought the giant from Hull over $1 million in today's money for the specimen, but when the group refused, Barnum had someone covertly make a wax impression of the giant and created his own replica for his New York museum and claimed the other giant to be fake.
How do you covertly make a wax cast?
I have no
of something
idea.
10 feet tall?
Someone got paid off. Someone got paid off.
I think what happened was he probably made a wax impression of the face because the exact measurements of the body were on display. So I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Who knows?
You know, fair.
What a crazy ass story.
Yeah. The moral of that is don't go across
it's
Barnum.
horrible.
It's wow. That is wow.
Yeah, the phrase "there's a sucker born every minute" is misattributed to Barnum, and it was actually a quote by the leader of the Cardiff Syndicate in reference to people paying to see Barnum's giant.
Dick fully out.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's quite a specimen.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
this guy was like, nope, bigger.
Bigger.
The funny thing is, it is based upon Hull. He used himself as a model.
Oh yeah, he's definitely like, no. He's showing you.
It's not big enough.
There's some versions here where it seems to be clothed. I don't know if that's just for transport or what.
Modesty.
Oh, I like this.
The Cardiff Giant is still on display today in Farmers Museum in Cooperstown, New York. And the Solid Muldoon was another quote-unquote real petrified man exhibition in Colorado in 1876, also perpetuated by George Hull.
I know where I'm going for. Hey,
Did George Hull do other hoaxes? His name sounds familiar to me.
Those, I think, are the only two I saw. There's a lot of hoaxes in New York
yeah.
for some reason.
kids, I know you've enjoyed. Like, we've been doing Splash Mountain for the field trips every year, but this year we're changing it up. We're gonna go visit the Cardiff Giant.
I couldn't
There's
find
really nothing else to do in New York but
Yeah,
scam.
exactly. Oh man, I couldn't find a way to incorporate them into the game in a fun way. But serial killer Arthur Shawcross lived and murdered in Rochester
Yeah,
and
the
Watertown.
Alphabet Killer.
Yeah, and Kenneth Bianchi and Angelo Buono, who go on to become the Hillside Stranglers. Yep, they were born in Rochester. So go look those fuckers up.
I'm excited about both of those, but
Have a wonderful afternoon
Thanks,
reading about
Ryan.
that.
Yep, can't wait.
That's the game.
Ryan, thank you.
Down, dirty.
All right, so can we? Let's read our. All right,
I got one.
I got 2 right out of 4. Aaron got 1 right out of 4.
I think I got 2.
I got 1.
We need a tiebreaker, Ryan.
Right. Oh yeah,
Rose-
What number am I thinking of?
69.
Yep.
Win.
My second guess is going to be 420.
Very
All
fitting.
right, that was fun, Ryan. Thank you.
Well, before we get into the show proper, we need to talk about.
Got in the show proper.
Nope.
Good
That's
Lord.
why we do timestamps now. We need to talk about a new patron. We have a new friend by the name of Thomas Anderson, and he has been into the Transformers brand since 1984 at the innocent age of 11, which makes him 4 or 5 years older than us, if my math is correct here. He vividly remembers, and I remember this as well, walking into stores and seeing entire aisles full of Transformer toys. And that's a lot different from today, where you have to sift through.
I do love seeing the sad posts on Twitter where it's just like empty hanger, one
Right.
figure.
Or it's what I experience, I guess, at our local stores is it's whatever crappy pop culture toy is there today, and then you'll find a single Legends class figure that you already own, and so you just cry.
Do you wheel in
7 Cyberverse blurs, and
Right.
like 1 movie Hot Rod.
Right.
Aaron wheels in a TV VCR combo to the store and shows kids what Transformers used to be like.
That's the good old days.
Now go bomb a federal building.
Oh.
Mr. Anderson is another person who binged hard on the APDC, 170 episodes in 4 weeks.
I don't even know how that's possible.
And then
That's
he
nuts.
Described it as
We love it. Thank
a
you.
whiplash into the regular schedule. He would love, maybe we put off the Beast Wars thing, because he would love to hear us recap the first episodes of the Japanese Headmasters series.
Ugh.
But he does not recommend trying to cover the entire thing, as it makes the original G1 cartoon look like high literature.
Oh, God.
Lots of
I resent the implication that it's not high literature.
Yeah, absolutely.
So shout out to Thomas Anderson. Thank you for joining the little community. I know old timers like you struggle with electronic gadgets, apps, and such, but please know you're always
I hope
welcome.
everyone's taking their Centrum Silver.
You're always welcome in the chats and commentaries on Patreon. And with that, I'd love to shout out Alpha Magnus, Debbie Skeeter, Jeff, Mike Seibert of Mike Seibert Radio, Jeremy, Bono, Michael Trimblett, you know, say daddy me, snow me, I go blame, Justin, Mr. China Star, Super Buffet, where you go if you're a hungry man with a big appetite, Jonathan, Optimus Prime, Daniel, Safubi Samurai, Chandler, J Soups, Matty V, Ken Bockelman, Moondog Murray, Corey, Michael Andrews, James and Julia, Michael, Empire of Rust Ordway, Tim, Jason from Cracktastic Plastic, and our newest comrade, Thomas Anderson. Thank you all
Thanks,
so much.
everybody.
Last episode recap. You all were doing absolutely hilarious recaps of Generation, or I guess it was season 1. You said you got into season 2 a little bit?
Yeah.
What are your big picture impressions of G1 up until now?
I think it's a fantastic advertisement for toys. We've got 2 shelves worth.
Very utilitarian.
Yep.
I loved G1. It's so fun and wacky, and I like that they just really kind of committed to being goofy.
Yeah.
I think it's high art. No, I honestly think it is extremely fun, and watching this really brought back those feelings of, really? They're going with this plot? Okay.
I would never have done it like that.
Because I lack imagination.
What would you say has aged well and what hasn't aged well? Taking the movie out of the conversation.
That's a tough one.
Well,
It might sound like a cop-out coming from me because this is all I ever talk about, but I think it really is revealing the gender imbalance of the character cast.
Oh, sure.
For real.
I mean, it was targeting boys. Like,
there's a lot
very
of
clearly.
white people playing minorities in an unfortunate way.
Oh,
the
in
voice
what-
actors.
A lot of that.
In which, like mostly like
Middle Easterners.
Middle
a lot,
Eastern,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and Japanese.
One thing that aged well, I think that it's wild to me to think about, especially if you consider the way that like media does it today, is like weirdly good disability representation.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Like Chip Chase is still the coolest motherfucker out there.
I miss Chip Chase so bad.
I feel like we're gonna miss him in season 3.
He's a hero. He saves bacon
It was also, if I an interesting choice that is like it's never addressed, like at all. Like, although in one of the
there's
early
no tragic backstory.
I'm glad they did not go with this, because one of the early notes in like a possible way of having Chip Chase was that they like Wheeljack was going to make him magic legs.
Like that episode of Malcolm in the Middle.
Like that episode of Glee.
So,
oh shit!
So, have you ever seen the final episode of season 2?
No.
Bot?
We got up to season. We got
So
up to episode.
we're talking
16.
about gender.
Of like 40.
We're talking about gender. I'm not, since you haven't seen it, I'm not going to go into it. But I would advise you
check it out
when you just in the right frame of mind to watch the final episode of season 2. And remember, this is the final episode of everything before they go into the movie.
If you watch it with the mindset of this could have been the last episode of Transformers ever, it's fucked up.
So
Can't wait.
That's your homework. Bot, B-O-T, bot.
Yeah, I feel like I was missing some context going into this movie. I was like,
No,
hey,
no,
Autobot
you're not.
Diddy.
That's the thing. Well, I'm not
There's
gonna.
no
I'm not gonna go into. No. Just gotta go watch it. Just gonna go watch it.
hey, the Combaticons are there. Swindle's pretty cool.
You do raise a good point, though. There's between the end of season 2 and the movie. Like, we're friends with some people that have been doing fanfic to try to fill in.
Reanimated, yeah.
Yeah,
that's right. Reanimated.
That project is so cool.
Yeah. So, but this bot episode.
It's pretty misogynistic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty misogynistic.
Can't wait.
Check it out.
Which up until now, well, then the thing is, every female or feminine character that is introduced, they actually generally treat them with respect in that they're always way smarter or way more capable than the male
There's
characters.
A random astrophysics.
Even right,
she's really smart.
So, but they just don't do very many of them, and so Bot is shocking in that that character. I'm not giving it away. That character has similar
That's true.
capabilities and
opposite
characteristics, but is not treated with any respect ever.
I would tell them nothing else.
Okay.
In reference to context for the movie, like the movie was being produced at the same time season 2 was, so. At the end of season 2, they also cram a bunch of new toys into the show because, like, they were just wanting to, but they're not in the movie, which is weird.
All the combiners, Protectobots, aerial bots.
So you just go straight from season, like basically you know enough from what you've seen is there's nothing.
You don't really have to see
lead
season
up.
2 at all.
No,
I love that because it's like, where did RC come from? Where did Springer come from?
Doesn't really.
What the fuck is Autobot?
That Hasbro said, let's crank out new characters.
We open up with the ringing of gongs and high quality logo animations.
Are we watching the whole movie? Are we going to watch this?
It's just gonna play in the background.
Yeah,
we won't like stop every second.
No,
Speak for yourself. I'm locked in.
Caleb is looking at his watch already. It's Father's Day.
It is Juneteenth.
It is Juneteenth.
Yeah.
I'm off tomorrow because of it.
Same.
So
what's that like?
I don't know, dude. Get a job at a bank.
He looks like a banker.
I think I look more like I'm solving crimes in Miami in the 80s.
Much cooler.
Get a trench coat. Get on your Columbo shit.
You look like you're causing crimes in Miami in the 80s.
Just one more question.
There's a little bit burn notice going on there.
Oh, yeah.
West and I have been rewatching Nip Tuck.
Oh,
have you ever seen that show?
Really? I watched some of it.
Back in the day.
Boy, that's everybody's awful.
The guy that we went to high school with was the editor for that.
Yeah.
Facts.
All right.
Transformers.
A giant metal planet with pinchy mandibles flies past a sun and towards a very populated planet full of living bipedal robots. People, welcome to Lythone, but don't fall in love with it or anything.
I will say they went off on the shading in this little section.
Oh yeah.
It looks like they got Ubisoft's lighting engine and we're just like, it is a modern marvel. And I'm just sitting here like, I can't see anything in a shadow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the flyby. I also I mean, Vince DiCola's score in this with the huffing steam and industrial sounds, so good.
Mm-hmm.
The first time we watched it, I made the point that it kind of reminded me of the animated section in the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh Lord!
Just like certain shots were just like a little wonky.
Han Solo's Benedict Cumberbatch face.
Yeah.
So we zoom in on the planet. It's a typical planet here. There's commerce, there's industry, there's science.
And
There's children.
Yeah.
You know, apparently the Autobots aren't the only robots with problems with their early warning systems because we look out the window and shit, it's Unicron.
Yeah. Whenever we reviewed this initially, Caleb called these guys wizards.
Space wizards.
Space wizards. We knew when that happened.
Those are potions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We knew when that happened that we were on the road to a successful podcast. That was like we got this.
Couldn't have done it without you, Caleb. The shading.
I'm fascinated. Like you mentioned that they have no early warning system, but they know Unicron exists. They recognize that
right.
it is Unicron, but there's no like boop, 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 Unicron alarm.
Wow,
Yeah.
I've been. It's funny. Like we started with the movie, and then we moved back into the series. So it's interesting. We started with really good animation, and then moved into mediocre animation. And it's weird now to come back into the movie, and it's
Especially after
It's
starting
beautiful.
season 3 with 5 phases,
It's
which is just ACOM shit
so-
all over it.
it's so colorful and so fun looking. I don't know.
Yeah, the animation in this comes and goes a little bit, but the first like 25 minutes are great. Like the animation's great.
They're trying to hook you.
And they do. I did remark that I find it really funny that Unicron spends his whole time, and he's terrifying in this like planet form that he has. But the second that he meets even like one version of Megatron, you know, Galvatron, he's just like, fuck this, I gotta punch something. Like nobody else inspires that in him, but like the ghost of Megatron Past is just so annoying, and I love that for him.
Absolutely. The
So-
chomping.
Speaking of Ghost
is...
of Megatron Pass.
So Unicron is tearing this place apart. The very force of him emerging causes the ground to shake and the beakers break, and he opens up and starts to just stab and suck at the planet of Lythone. Buildings are becoming untethered from the ground. Robotic beings are freed from gravity, and they're all drawn in towards the demon planet's gaping maw.
Well, he's got to have his own gravitational field.
Oh yeah, he's
Which you can
bigger
see.
than their
He's
planet.
bigger than the planet, yeah.
A couple of pals, Kranix and Arbalest, manage to get some ships and take off, but one of them, I believe it's Arbalest, does not make it and fails to escape the magnetic pull of Unicron. He too is sucked into the mouth to be chomped away and digested along with the rest of the planet.
The
So
chomping.
I noticed something
Oh,
really...
The munching. Yes.
We can't get into every weird animation error, but this is something I don't think we noticed the first time around. I don't know what is going
that is.
on the left, but they're basically overlaying different images. I'll pause and
at the
go, but
bottom.
like of buildings. They've just taken drawings of or paintings of buildings and worked them in as texture to whatever's
I kinda like
happening
that,
over
though.
there.
Well,
I've
you
never
had
noticed
it. What
that.
you had it at, you also see ground. Like
Yeah,
you
it's
see
just like an old mat.
dirt.
It's like old mat that they just thrown on there because it's got structure to it, and they're just.
I think that's one of the things I really enjoyed about this movie is that it is just 85 minutes of pure chaos.
Yeah.
And that's what I've missed about G1.
Yeah, you could throw this on and be done fast. Like it's a fast
Yeah.
movie.
I wonder.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if that is. I'm probably overthinking this, but if that is supposed to be reflection in whatever metallic is on the left side, and so there's like, well, it's reflecting the city,
I don't think
urban
so.
parts of the planet. Yeah, you're right, but still,
Because it was completely covered in grass, as we saw.
okay. Sorry.
No,
I
but-
never
joke-
noticed that either. Huh?
and there's
interesting.
sky, blue sky in there as well. Anyway,
I did. I did joke when we were watching this last night that the inner workings of Unicron really remind me of like the inside of the ship in Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
there's
Oh,
just
like,
a bunch
why
of
the fuck is
random
that
things,
here?
Like stuff, yeah, it's like this episode is badly written. It's really the vibe I get.
Yeah, it's pretty gross, honestly. Like his whole system is weird.
I mean, let's look inside you and see.
It's
going on?
It's gorgeous.
It's nasty.
Crawl up inside there.
So all
Don't.
yeah, it took me a second to soak in what you said there.
Listen, the episode is going to be a Vor spectacular anyways. We're talking about fucking Unicron, but it has to be.
All right, so obnoxious crunching noises, digestion. Ultimately, the planet of Lythone is fully consumed. Unicron is energized and sassified. And there's a light that surges through his rings as it continues its journey through space.
Mm-hmm. And then we get the Transformers song by Lion.
Yeah. Hot takes.
So good.
Kit, Harper, how do you feel about that opening scene? What did it do
Set
for you?
the tone.
It's a good one. I think it is beautifully animated. And at first I was just like, is this Cybertron? Are we really ending the movie that quickly? So once I got past that, and then I started yelling about children.
Yeah.
All those kids died.
Yeah, we also, when we saw it first, thought it would look like a shopping mall with the escalators. And...
They're going to a Hot Topic.
Just Spencer's Gifts.
Get some
Spencer's.
Get an Auntie Anne cyber pretzel.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I love going in a store where I can get a poster and a Who Farted t-shirt and a dildo. Spencer's Gifts.
And a beer
Multifaceted.
bong.
We transition to the Odyssey. That is the intro theme commissioned to a band called Lion. And this song is about as mid-'80s as it gets.
I love the arcade tunnel we go through right
For real.
before.
Yeah, I
all
feel like that had to be inspired by Space Odyssey, right? 2001?
That and maybe Tron. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
It always felt to me like the intro, the home box office intro, where we go into the O of that. But
Obsessed with the order that they do the titles.
Yeah.
Like here we have Eric Idle's Wreck Guard. I'm like, what does that mean? Why is he first?
It is a weird one
It's
to put
strange.
top billing.
Like Leonard Nimoy is right there, and you're like, no, Wreck-Gar first.
I wonder. I guess we've never looked into the rhyme or reason as to what the order they're in, because it's not. Is it alphabetical?
S, we just got an S.
Oh, actually, Eric
And a
Idle,
W.
Judd Nelson. It might be alphabetical. You might be right.
That's stupid.
It is stupid.
Well, but then we put
We're
John
in
Machida
co-stars
here.
now.
Yeah, but we're into the co-star here.
Okay, John Machida is a co-star.
I did
Who
have
else?
just real quick some stuff
That's
about,
it.
about Lion. They were a band from 83 to 89, and their debut song was Love is a Lie from Friday the 13th, the final chapter. That was part 4. They also did Never Surrender and Power Love from the movie The Wraith in 1986.
Have you seen all of these?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You've seen all the
Fuck you.
Predators.
Who the fuck you talking to?
All right, so we've got an amazing cast. We've got Nelson, Stack, Stander, Machida Jr.,
Yeah.
Leonard Nimoy, Eric Idle, and Mr. Frozen Peas himself,
Orson Welles.
Orson Welles.
Parmesan wine.
So here's the setup. The last time you saw the Autobots and Decepticons, it was 86. They're dicking around with high school kids and their harebrained science projects. But now it's the year 2005. 20 years have passed, and boy, have things changed. Decepticons have control of Cybertron. All the Autobots are left with are a couple of bases on Cybertron's moons and a city on Earth. But let's focus on the moons for a moment.
We go to basically what we're looking at is Laserbeak flies into what appears to be a weapons facility run by the Dinobots.
Who let this happen?
They're doing a great job.
I mean, Harper, you and I both love the Dinobots, but I don't know if I want them making my bombs.
They're probably crude but hyper effective,
Yeah, exactly.
much like the Dinobots themselves.
We do.
Grimly do quality control.
I do. I think it's great. There's a lot of great beats in here where it's like, it's just good crystallizations of the show. Like immediately we have Laserbeak just doing whatever, like wherever she wants to be.
Yeah.
Laserbeak getting multiple angles from one
From
spot.
one position.
Because why would we reanimate shit?
So Laserbeak, yes, doing some of classic spy work on Dinobots' weapons facilities and ultimately sneaking in on a private convo between Optimus Prime and Ironhide. Status report, Ironhide's pissed off.
Big change. Big change.
He is ready to take
God,
this beef to the streets. And
I love that little frame of Shockwave, just like
I know.
Oh,
Yeah, it's so good.
we used that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's lonely.
He's just there keeping it tight for Zaddy.
Yeah, quick story. We mentioned this scene on our live TFCon presentation, and we did some editing and had it kind of zoom slowly in and fade in closer and closer on him while playing the song All By Myself by Eric Carmen. And the asshole or whoever owns the rights to his music, we got our video removed from YouTube for that 15 seconds.
Not even demonetized.
Yeah,
removed.
Yeah, completely removed from YouTube. So
really
now we got to re-edit that shit and put in a passive-aggressive note against the record company.
Just do like a really bad karaoke version.
Yeah, let's just sing it right now, everybody.
Or-
All by myself. Okay, that works.
I do love that Ironhide shakes his fist. I feel like there's not enough fist shaking in the modern world.
There's plenty in this movie, though.
There is.
That's
Galvatron's got a
So
few.
good.
So Prime is basically like, chill, Ironhide. I need you to make a special run to Autobot City on Earth. Ironhide doesn't like that, but here's the deal. The Autobots on the moons, they need Energon to keep this war going, and there's Energon on Earth, so go get it, you old piece of shit.
It'll be great. We'll definitely see you again.
Oh.
Before we take off, quick security check. Jazz, any Decepticons out there? Nope. How about B and Spike on Moonbase 2? Nope. All right. Ironhide, Prowl, Ratchet, and Brawn load up into an Autobot shuttle.
I really wanted one of these exosuits when I was a kid.
That would be good cosplay. I've never seen that before.
I love the fact that they can transform. That, to me, incredible.
Yeah, that was a big draw. That is weird. You'd think that would be well, it's not an easy costume, but that's well doable. You'd think you'd see more of those.
Maybe that's what we should do.
I don't know. Somebody tell the guy on TikTok who has the massive rigs.
Oh, God.
Who is that?
Oh
Shout
God,
him
I
out.
follow him. He has these massive, like really detailed rigs of is a Soundwave one. He has a Bay vs Ironhide, and I know he is working on a Jazz. It's at BM Bids on TikTok.
It came to me while watching this that Jazz is responsible for every Autobot death in this movie.
What?
In
Tell
what
us.
way?
Oh.
Because he's the security checkpoint. If he had taken his security job seriously when Optimus Prime asked him, any Decepticon presence out there, they should have detected and captured Laserbeak. There would have been no surprise attack on the ship. The Autobots land on Earth, get the Energon, come back, win the war. But because he didn't take his job seriously, you got complacent, Jazz. Either your tech is bad or your eyes are, Jazz. Which is it?
Wow.
Maybe you were distracted, Jazz, listening to one of 2005's greatest bangers, Gold Digger by Kanye West featuring Jamie Foxx. Or maybe it was Mariah Carey's We Belong Together. That's a great song, Jazz, but was it worth it? You done fucked up, Jazz. You're going to have to leave, Jazz. Go
I like
far.
to think he was listening to Welcome to the Black Parade.
Was that 2005?
I think.
Oh, wow.
Fallout
sorry.
Boy, All Day Long, My Chemical Romance, all those old hits. But the thing is, Jazz, you're going to have to leave. You're going to have to go far away, or we're going to find you guilty of gross negligence, Jazz. You may get put to death for your crimes.
Fuck.
Go
I
away,
don't think
Jazz.
they would put him to death. There's not enough Autobots left.
Find
You're really opening up the great groundwork for like a double agent Jazz, AU.
I know. In fact, let me tie this up. Go away, Jazz. Find a way to live with yourself as you repent, Jazz, for your crimes. You won't be allowed back into this world. You're going to have to establish a new identity, a new backstory. Jazz is lost to the universe.
I see
You
where
are
this is
now
going.
Monka Spanka.
Oh my god. That's a fucking long walk to get to that joke.
I thought you were making a Ricochet joke.
Nice.
Sorry, there's some weird animation glitches in the beginning of season 3 where Jazz could be perceived to be another character named Monka Spanka. I don't.
That's a
It's
real.
an ACOM animation error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the best ones.
I don't. Yeah. Anywho, okay.
Fuck you for doing that.
Laserbeak records. Laserbeak records all this shit and heads back to Cybertron. And Cliffjumper first does a tough guy
5,
voice countdown.
4, 3, 2.
All we need is Energon and luck, and I'm kind of curious if they're going to get any of that. Laserbeak heads back to Cybertron, and we've got a few passive-aggressive digs between Starscream and Megatron, and a few seconds later, and we're watching the infamous Optimus Prime Triple X sex tape, One Night in Sigma's Vector.
This is another instance where I thought it was a great crystallization of, like, you instantly get, if you haven't seen anything, I feel like you instantly get the dynamic.
Yeah.
It really blows my mind that Starscream is still surprised to be dunked on every time.
It blows me away he's still employed by the Decepticons after 20 years.
Well, that
Not for long.
we can go all day about that dynamic between him and between Megatron and Starscream.
That's spicy.
It is.
I maybe
It really is.
like I've heard that critics who saw this, I mean, it was pretty hated at the time. They complained that they couldn't parse what was going on, and I don't know that I can accept that. Like, it's not War and Peace; it's not that complicated.
Right.
And they also were like they couldn't tell the characters apart, and I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm biased.
I
but
think
it's
that's a you problem.
It doesn't seem that
Yeah.
hard. Like,
Maybe they stumbled into some sort of time warp and watched the Michael Bay movies.
ooh, Wicked Bird. That's some low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Also, between telling everyone apart, I can think of only one instance where there is a surprise Thundercracker and Skywarp where they shouldn't be. So
Yeah.
I don't know what their problem is. This one's almost perfect.
And there's one Twin Frumble moment, but that's it.
Yeah. And then, well, there is a slight animation error on eject and rewind, but it's not really noticeable.
Oh yeah.
Nobody cares about them anyway.
No.
Not in this continuity. Soundwave plugs into the monitor. The Decepticons have all the info they need to plan a glorious sneak attack. We transition to the Autobot shuttle. They're just chilling, minding their business, when explosion, boom, the Decepticons breach the cockpit.
And here it is.
Yeah, you guys said
The
this is-
rawest scene in all of cinema.
Yeah.
This
It is wild
tough.
to me too. If you take out the title sequence and then the theme song and like all this stuff, it has been 5 minutes.
Mhm.
It's been 5 minutes, and we go, actually, murder.
Yeah. It's
Especially after 3 seasons of like the cheapest little like tiny pot shots that do nothing.
Right.
Yeah, has anybody died in seasons 1 and season 2?
No.
No, I
No.
don't think anyone dies. No.
I love that they just kicked this off with actually permadeath real.
yeah.
Sorry.
Even as a kid, it always irritated me how easily like Brawn dies. I felt like I don't know.
Mhm.
Even they all
Alphatron-
die pretty easily. but-
Alphatron maybe died. I feel like
he
he
gave up
bonded
his
with
life, yeah.
Vector
He
Sigma or
bonded
with
something
Vector
like
Sigma.
that. Good. Fuck him.
Good. I'm
It's a-
glad he's dead.
It's a
Hey,
run-
in this home we fucking hate Alphatron.
it's a running thing with people that watched it as kids like us, that it broke a lot of kids' brains when they watched it in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Megatron says, die, Autobot. He goes directly into gun mode. Starscream is the shooter. Brawn is blasted through the chest and traps. Prowl pops a shot only to get run through by some Constructicon laser fire. He falls to the ground, vomiting smoke and ash. Which, to me, this is the most visceral
That's the one that
Yeah.
gets me. Yeah.
death.
They went for it.
Imagine you go see Toy Story 4 and everybody dies.
Oof.
They all get sucked
I mean,
into the
they
furnace.
threatened death in Toy Story 3, and everybody was sobbing at that part.
Gosh, who's the
Oh my
Woody and
God.
Buzz of this universe?
Hot Rod and Daniel.
Okay.
Asked
I was
and
going to say
answered.
Optimus and Bumblebee.
Ironhide and Ratchet step up to stop the slaughter, but they both end up gorging on hot plasma. The Decepticons now control the shuttle. That was easy.
And the Autobots have no medics.
That's true.
To me, the most brutal part of this scene is Ironhide's headshot.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
off screen, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's cold.
I didn't even think about this whenever we were watching it to review a minute at a time, mostly because like I intentionally didn't watch it again before we started doing it. And I forget in watching it all together like this, how many times people say die. Like it's a lot. Like
Yeah.
Galvatron says it like 3 times to Ultramax.
Get a die counter.
It's pretty fucked up. So yeah, this scene has Instruments of Destruction by NRG playing over it. I looked up just a quick thing about them. The Instruments of Destruction, this is a quote from the band frontman. He said, the Instruments of Destruction era for the band was one of our most fulfilling times in our musical careers, and we're very proud to have it as part of the animated classic Transformers the movie. No ifs, ands, or buts.
There were ands or buts, I guess. He had to clear that up.
I think it sounds real defensive. Like maybe he's like, it's like people make fun of them for that for being in this movie, but he's like, no, I liked it.
It's probably a bigger
But it's a raw
payday that they
song
ever
over
saw.
a raw scene.
Yeah.
It works.
It's good. It hurts, but it's good.
I noticed in this, I didn't really pay attention to it before. Like, I do like the effect that they considered where the Decepticons fly to the seats to sit down to pilot the ship instead of walking over. And I'm just like, oh yeah, they fuck.
So lazy.
Man, if I could fly, I would never be touching the ground.
I guess that would be the Autobot equivalent of transforming to a car to drive over to your seat from 15 feet away.
That's all they can do. Yeah.
There's some more aggressively playful sexual banter between Starscream and Megatron. And the plan is revealed. The Decepticons are going to fly this ship to Earth. They're going to bypass Autobot City's early warning systems. It's a Trojan horse-style attack that's going to wipe out all of Earth's Autobots forever.
Now, if only there wasn't that little pink twink to fuck it all up.
Ironhide still functions, but his feeble effort to stop the felonious plot is interfered when Megatron fells Ironhide with fusion fire to the face as the shuttle continues toward planet Earth. I didn't realize they're right outside planet Earth at this point.
Yeah,
so
they're pretty close.
Were the Decepticons just... Did they have their own ship, or were they just flying solo, chasing this thing until the right...
Space.
In the original script, they're hiding in an asteroid field.
Oh, I like that. I actually really like that.
Yeah,
so
I think they just
somewhere
cut it for
between
time.
Mars and Earth, they hopped on here.
Well, probably Jupiter and Mars.
Yeah, that makes more sense based on the location.
asteroid
Where the asteroid belt is.
Astronomy.
Now, after that horrible massacre, smash cut to a beautiful fishing
Yeah.
scene.
Sun's just smiling.
Yeah.
I guess between the 1986 and 2005, Earth solved all of its environmental problems.
I'm glad we dodged that bullet.
Yeah.
It's not
I mean,
100
we're
degrees.
really, like, the first season and a half that we watched, I remember them really pushing the renewable energy
Yes.
Oh yeah.
agenda. So I see it. Yeah.
It was a trope. I think Dilly discussed that they just got bored with being locked into that, and they started breaking away from that eventually. Not not for any ideological reasons.
I think he was
tired of the formula.
I think he was talking about like a power plant of the week kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. After too many hydro plants, they all look the same.
Yeah.
We transition. It's a beautiful scene on Earth. Clouds, mountains, meadows, ponds. The birds are chirpy and the brook is a bubbling. We're introduced to a young, never before seen Araminth-colored twink. I think we can just keep using that reference. By the name of Hot Rod. He's on babysitting duty with Spike's son Daniel, who is a youthful lad just north of 10. They're casting rods at the local fishing hole when, hey, I caught one.
Got a brookie.
What this made me want more than anything is to finally write that fic that Caleb suggested all the way back at TFCon DC like 4 years ago at this point, where Daniel has been dead for years. And Hot Rod is just like hallucinating and trying to cover and, not telling Spike, obviously.
Right. That's
He's got like a mop with Daniel's like
Yeah.
clothes
wig on
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I would definitely write it from the point of view of Hot Rod, where like Daniel is there and talking to him, but nobody else ever interacts with Daniel. So at the very end, you find out Daniel's been dead for
he's just
years.
dead.
But Hot Rod, we haven't seen Daniel for blah 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 time.
It's all in his head. All in his head.
Maybe that's why we don't see Carly, as she's actually in mourning right now and is
For her son.
kind of hidden away.
I think I have this note later, but this I mean, we'll meet Wheelie after a while, but like an unfortunate thing about season 3 is Wheelie and Daniel become the Spike and Bumblebee of season 3, and it is unfortunate.
I like Daniel in this movie.
I like him
don't
too.
want to dislike Daniel. So maybe I just won't watch season 3.
We learned to like Daniel. My memory of him was that he was annoying, but I've come to respect him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 10 and he's fucking shit up. So
Yeah.
I respect it.
We made little pins that say D, and like D is for danger, because through this whole movie, the Transformers are constantly putting Daniel in very dangerous situations.
Yeah, they make.
There's one part where I think if you blink, it really looks like RC has just crushed him in the ship crash on Junkyard. And I'm
Yes.
was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
That is a neck-breaking moment, without a doubt. Daniel is depressed, everybody. It turns
The
out
D is for
D is for depressed. D is for danger. D is for depressed.
Spike is one of those fathers who is he's a work-first father, and he's been up in that moon base for God knows how long. And the fact is, Daniel misses him. Hopefully, they'll be reunited as soon as the Autobots win this war, which surely they are on the cusp of
Gotta
doing.
be. It's only been 9 million years.
And then
I don't understand what Spike is doing up there. Like, I genuinely, I
just
don't
getting
mean to
away
drag
from
him.
his family.
Yeah, that's
like
the
it.
sense that I got.
Sounds like it.
I think you asked Aaron whether like Spike went to college or what his degree is in, where he's like security officer with Bumblebee, or like if he's just a hanger-on.
Or is it, it's some kind of Autobot nepotism that he just got that job because he's tight with Bumblebee?
Probably.
He's Bumblebee's emotional support human.
Yeah.
He's got a little vest and everything.
Yeah. So he's basically
He's
a
got
pet.
a collar that says nervous.
But guess what? An alarm's going off, and that is what makes for the 2005 equivalent of an iPad. A shuttle's rolling in, and we know that young humans love nothing more than to watch those things land. So,
Fishing, stupid. Ships landing, awesome.
yeah, get your rocket skateboards out because we're going on a trip to Lookout Mountain.
They abandoned the reels, the rods and reels. They just throw them aside.
Also, is it Dare that starts up right here?
Yeah, it's Dare.
Yeah.
It's my favorite
And, like,
song.
when we first watched it, we were just like, they're already busting out Dare. Like,
Yeah.
it
No,
feels so early. But I do love the fact that they reuse both Dare and the Touch. They
Yep.
get used
Yeah.
twice.
Yep.
And I think that's fun.
Dare
love
is I prefer Dare over the Touch, honestly. It's my favorite song, and this might be one of my favorite sequences in the movie. It's just very pretty.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty, it's fun, it's dynamic. You get such a good sense of the fact that Daniel and Hot Rod are actually friends and care about each other.
And they practice this move.
Yeah.
For sure. And also, all the movement is so good.
Yeah, I love it.
Like that's a lot of work for animation.
Yeah, when the background is moving along with kind of the focus characters. So Daniel nearly kills himself on a rock. That's near-death experience number 1 by our count.
Yeah.
Hot Rod saves him in a super cool transformation, and they continue on their stylish journey, slowed down only briefly by an obnoxious barricade being put up by Kup and his union-based crew of Huffer, Bluestreak, Hound, and Sunstreaker.
It's just weird.
I've missed like repping unions and Transformers.
I think we kind of we stole your phrase of Union Boys.
It's okay. It's a good one. Spread the Union gospel.
Yeah, seriously, especially at this time and time and place in U.S. history.
Hey, even Autobots need an organized workforce.
Yeah.
You know?
Optimus Prime has been exploiting the Autobots for too long.
It's true. It's true.
I think,
Oh, did you guys see that U quiz that went around Twitter a little while back where it's just like, which Transformers character would fuck you?
I didn't see that. Hmm.
Who'd you get?
Harper got Kup.
I got Kup.
I got Ultra Magnus.
It's gonna be very formulaic.
Yeah, I didn't really get that one, but
I don't know if Ultra Magnus can deal with sex.
I
Yeah.
would say no.
Missionary. That's it.
Lights out.
Okay. It's 10 p.m. That's the cutoff. Okay, we smashed through that barricade, and we're off to the tip of the urethra of Dickhead Mountain.
Oh, it really does look like it.
Oh, all right.
The shuttle is coming in. Daniel peeps through the binoculars to see, OMG, there's a hole in the shuttle. It's Decepticons.
This is like.
This.
Go
So
ahead.
we're approaching my favorite joke that Kit made the first time we watched that, which is when Hot Rod goes like, "Oh my god, I have to check this out." His stupid little goggles, and then we zoom in on Starscream, and Kit just goes, "I know that ass."
Hot Rod's like, that's Starscream.
I could spot that anywhere.
I know those shapely curves. Those proud wings.
I have been thinking about that line for like a week.
Hot Rod, the transformations he does are very cool, but he transforms in a different way pretty much every time. Like, I don't know if you noticed that, but like, especially later on Quintessa, but his transformations are all over the place. I mean, they look good, but they're weird.
He's trying to find the one that works for him.
Yeah.
He's
It
still
makes
an
no
adolescent.
logical sense for me, but I like the thought that you can transform however the hell you want.
Yeah. I think
It
we.
just happens.
Yeah.
Hot Rod is guns blazing from his arm side pieces. He slices through the side of the ship with his lasers as Decepticons just pour out of the ship.
I love everybody watching this. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Hot
I know.
Rod?
They think he's just shooting at the
Lost
ship
his
for no
goddamn mind.
reason. Megatron delivers a massive fusion blast that circumcises Dickhead Mountain, leaving Hot Rod falling down the cliffs as he protects Daniel in his arms. The action is beginning.
Didn't
on
know
his-
circumcision was when you just cut the whole head off.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
brutal.
traumatic.
Oh man, when we first watched this, I was like, "There's no way that Daniel could even survive this kind of fall." But
No.
I think Hot Rod does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
I'm going to mark that down as number 2 for near-death experiences for Daniel.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
I've started a tally.
unless there's little airbags that come out of his arms, he should be crushed or at least rattled very hard by that by that fall.
Whiplash, shaken baby
Yeah.
syndrome.
Definitely some brain injury.
Mm-hmm. The main action here, we've got Blitzwing versus Hot Rod versus Kup versus Shrapnel.
This part's.
I will say, this moment, I was just like, "Oh, okay, I get the Kup people now. This is cool."
It's pretty awesome. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, I love it.
Also, just don't stand there, Hot Rod.
Oh, I love Decepticons running into each other. It's so good. Like, they try
Pre-motion.
so hard, and then they can't keep it together.
There's a little bit of back and forth here between Kup and Hot Rod. And then we have a nice Starscream dive bombing that looks pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. This begins Starscream being all over this bitch. Like, Starscream is fucking everywhere around Autobot City.
He's also in the battle.
Haha, I'm with you. I sees what you did there.
Starscream's putting out all over.
At the edges of the city, we see Percy Boy. He turns into telescope mode to see that the city is under siege and we're outnumbered, everybody.
I like how, too, when Perceptor shows up, the music gets, like, super, like, EDM-y.
He's a big fan of, what is it, Marshmallow Head or what his name is?
I think it's just Marshmallow.
No, it's Marshmallow Head. Look it up.
Look it up.
I don't want to. I don't like EDM.
Oh, I love how every time they have an angle of Ultra Magnus, like, from below, you only see the top half of his face.
Yeah.
Robert Stack, I think he does a great job as Ultra Magnus. I believe he was very nervous about being a voice actor in this movie because he wasn't traditionally a voice actor. But I've always liked his performance a lot.
Yeah, we're introduced to Ultra Magnus, Springer, RC, and Blur, 4 sexy new future robots that seem to have dominion over this Autobot burrow. And here's everyone's task. Springer, RC, transform the city. Perceptor, tell Blaster to contact Prime and the Moonbase crew. Blur, just get out of here. Just kidding.
I love Blur because he talks at the speed that I listen to podcasts at.
I can confirm this.
Mm-hmm.
We should slow down Blur and see if it sounds normal. Take it down to 0.5.
We should, for no reason.
And that's just John Moschitta's normal speaking voice.
I mean, I imagine that's how you have to do it. Like, I'm sure that there are some people who can talk that fast because you can really get yourself up there if you really, really try hard about it. Then it's the reading speed, I think, is where you get slowed down. But I can't imagine having to read the lines and talk that fast at the same time.
That was really impressive.
That was pretty good.
I have a lot going on in my head.
I don't find Blur that annoying in the movie, but then in season 3 in Five Faces, I don't know what the difference is. Maybe it's the way his voice is processed. It's fucking super annoying.
And also just the context with Wheelie.
It's also
hard
he's
to
not
get
saying
over.
anything, I guess. There's a lot in where he's like just saying nonsense.
He's
in
kind of
season
a
3.
whiny bitch as well. Like he just. I didn't pause here on purpose, but it is notable.
Oh.
Springer and RC have to transform the city. We've got our first official Hasbro Sunbow wrist grab.
Mm-hmm.
So he's grabbing the
Oh, I
wrist.
thought you were gonna talk about the tits and ass pose.
No, but
But we're kind of we're getting to that, like, you know, the trend of women in comics where they're like always turned so that you can like see both.
Yeah.
do you?
Yeah.
Well, let's keep an eye on that. Do you feel like they do that in this movie?
I don't
Intentionally?
know. Like, when I say like tits and ass pose, like I don't think that it's very egregious in this at all. Like I think that her design isn't that bad. You know, it's just kind of what you would expect from that. I just think it's funny that we paused here.
Yeah.
But I'll be on TNA watch. Don't worry.
Sure.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Well, one thing that we actually was part of our Chicago segment and our presentation. She gets her wrist grabbed more than once.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
movie,
She's
yeah.
maneuvered
notice
around a
that.
lot. Yeah.
So we have it.
She's pulled and pushed. All
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
We call it the classic Sunbow wrist grab because we've seen it actually in other Sunbow animations.
Yeah, it was in
as well.
G.I. Joe, in Humanoids, and if you
My
want to
Little Pony.
stretch, it's in My Little Pony.
Yeah,
I mean, the vibe is
Do horses have wrists?
it was a stretch. Somebody found a cell that was like, well, and then and just because we were on the wrist grab, like
Train.
It's definitely in G.I.
we
Joe.
were
the
like,
movie.
yeah, sure, let's count
Just
it.
thinking about Rainbow Dash chomping down on Applejack's hoof.
I would say like, it gives me the same vibe. It feels very anime, and a lot of this movie, like you can see where they are just getting those kind of like anime hallmarks. You have like the eye glint and like the
Yes.
wrist grab
Yeah.
feels very that way too. And it feels it's funny because it's like this. I can't remember if it's a different production company or Sunbow did some of the show. But if this movie feels way more like anime style than the show did.
So if I remember correctly, Toei did most of the episodes of season 1 and 2 with ACOM occasionally dipping in for some really bad animation. And Toei is definitely way more of the anime high quality flourishes. And so Nelson Shin directed this. He owned ACOM or owns ACOM, but yet I think Toei was responsible for most of the animation, if that makes sense.
It's weird. It's weird to parse how it works.
But ACOM did not have the capabilities to pull this off at all. If this was an ACOM movie, it would probably be unwatchable.
I read a crazy statistic that it's like it took them Nelson Shin's animation studio, not the movie, just for an episode. It took 100 animators like months, like 4 months to do a single episode.
Woof.
They got to go transform the city, they being Springer and RC. Unfortunately, Kup and Hot Rod are still trapped outside the city, but fuck that. They can take care of themselves. RC and Springer, they push and pull assorted levers and buttons, and the city starts to fold up like an origami fortune teller. Pick a color.
Green.
Green, you're fucked.
I do like this where it's just things.
You talk
things,
about
things.
anime, like the transformation of the city, especially when the cannons and stuff start coming out. That feels very
Yeah,
Japanese. Yeah, and this angle right here, I mean, everything. It's so
really good.
dynamic.
It's closing and everything.
I think it's the script you had, Aaron, because it was a little later one. This part where Starscream gets trapped in the script. I believe his hand transforms into a shoehorn and pries himself out.
Really?
Yeah.
I like this version more. It's more like 127 nanoseconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice. Nice.
Yeah, as referenced, Starscream is chasing Springer and RC down a transforming corridor. They get away, and Starscream basically gets stuck by two, I don't know what you'd call them, metal platforms that are coming together. He has to shoot his foot off.
With no consequences at any other point in the movie.
Right. He doesn't die or anything. We did at
Doesn't
one
limp.
Right, no limping. That's why he just flies over to the command chair. I sprained my ankle. More levers, more switches, and Autobot City becomes an offensive anime fortress.
Yeah.
Love it.
Pretty cool.
It's very cool. It's a very cool sequence. We did talk about this a little bit whenever we did the review of, like, it doesn't make a lot of sense that, because the Autobots are not really outnumbered, and also they're in a fortified fortress, like, that has a ton of guns. So it doesn't make a lot of sense the Decepticons so easily breach everything, but it's a show. Who cares, I guess.
I like to think that the U.S. government has been told that this is just a peaceful city, and
Yeah.
the moment that all the guns start coming out, somebody is on the phone like, shit,
Yeah.
fuck, we fucked up. They have crazy firepower.
Kid John Cena on the line. And we kind of skipped past it, but just mentioning the environmental stuff from earlier. whenever you see the panning of Autobot City way before this point, as Spike and Daniel are kind of going up to look up mountain, you see that there is a lot of references to environmentally sustainable, like they have all kinds of, I feel like windmills and
dams and
there's
dams, some
didn't
solar
notice that.
panels.
and I feel like there was one other big one, but like hydro and all that. It was actually pretty cool.
There's an oil fire.
And I guess I assume that that's how they produce the energon that.
There's a coal burning plant off screen.
Whale oil.
Greenwashed Autobots.
Turns out that they're in Kentucky. It's clean coal, as they call it.
Oh my god, I love poor Kickback. You know,
Yeah.
Always felt bad, even as a kid, for Kickback getting his head run over by Kup here.
Pictures taken moments before death.
Yeah, some Insecticons are trying to eat their way through some doors, breach the defenses, but Kup and Hot Rod show up on the scene, zooming towards the fortress in car mode. Are the Insecticons in our way or our way in? It's the latter as the boys crush Skull to ramp
Brutal.
into the fortress.
And then another door.
Another
closed.
door
I love
closed.
that. That was
How many
such a
doors?
good detail.
There's like 4 more doors back there. You guys didn't even see them.
also all this security, all of these things to lock down, and you still leave just like the glass.
Yeah.
Well, it's a
Like
communications
massive
tower. You
dome.
can't block the communications.
No.
It communicates
He has a
through the
satellite.
satellite on the top.
Yeah, the glass is just an aesthetic flourish that maybe Blaster made that
I
decision.
feel like it must be
Blaster's making a
because
Jim Carrey face right here. Can we talk about
he's having a ball.
He said, "Fuck yeah, I've been preparing for this moment. Let's go, Optimus Prime on the line."
That's right. Perceptor climbs into the DJ Blaster's control tower. Radio Optimus Prime, we need help. He pushes some buttons, goes into boombox mode. The transmission is being delivered, but it won't be that easy because Soundwave ejects Rumble, Frenzy, Ravage, and new bot Ratbat to crack the shell and the nuts inside.
I do love it. Just Operation Be Annoying. There's also a great bit coming up with Ratbat where his animation really just phoned it in. He looks like one of those flip books where you have to flip 2 pages really fast
I
because
love
he just
that
goes
part.
up and then down, no in between. 2 frenzies.
2 frenzies?
2 frenzies, yeah.
There it is. He has two modes, up and down.
It's just a GIF.
He's actually just like levitating. The wings are for show. I love this.
The tapes
Perceptor's like, save yourself.
The tapes rip the satellite transmitter and then break into the glass tower. Wasn't a great design choice.
Oh, I never noticed those color changes with rewind and eject.
Yeah, when
Both
they
get
were
out.
like blue and then black. Blue
Yeah.
and then black.
I don't understand how that mistake is made, but whatever. Like,
Who's to say?
Maybe
They just got their cells out of order.
somebody just took a day off and somebody else picked up on the work and
yeah.
Oh god, I love Cassette Thunderdome. It's so good.
It's a fun scene.
Baby fights.
I like how it's an interesting like they're just showing they don't show the fight at that scene. They're just showing Perceptor and Blaster watching the fight.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy, you guys
Well,
got
who
this.
can animate a fight?
Also, I really love how throughout this movie there's just these random like fade out to black, fade back in. Like there
Yeah.
should be a commercial there, but they were like, yeah, no, commercials. It's a movie.
Yeah.
Didn't they show this in theaters? Did it have the fade in, fade out?
That's strange.
I'm surprised they didn't just put commercials in the theater
movies. Yeah.
version as well.
Well, I wouldn't mind if it was the interstitials. I love the interstitials. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts of G1.
Go get some jujubes and we'll return to the Transformers.
We now return to the Transformers.
I think that's just the most cinematic transition they had on file, perhaps.
George Lucas had already done Star Wipes. You can't tell me that's true.
So, despite assembling an able defense here, the Decepticons are pushing forward. Inside the fortress, Springer is preparing a rocket launcher for action. He's trying to position it in place so he can fire through a hole in the wall at enemies outside the city. But it's heavy, and RC is busy moving the dead bodies of Windcharger and Wheeljack.
Yeah, just pepper that in there. Some more. Whoops.
It's so
Yeah,
sad.
die off
So
screen.
sad. That shot of Wheeljack, it really messed me up when I first saw this movie.
RC goes over to help Springer move the cannon. It's still pretty heavy, but not too heavy for Hot Rod, Kup, and Daniel, who show
I
up
love
just
Daniel.
then to help.
Helping. It's so cute.
The first
trying
time we
so
watched
hard.
this, I was like, well, at least Daniel could at least try and help. And then he tried to help, and I'm like, okay, I can stop shitting on Daniel.
But it's another
He's a good kid.
it's another D is for danger moment because I would be like, you need to go hide. You need to.
Yeah.
They just let him. They
Yeah.
just let him.
Is
run
there not a
around
human
the middle of the
bunker here?
hotel.
Yeah, or they need to. He needs to go home.
It's past
Too
his
late.
dinner time.
And
Yeah,
then
Carly's been making that lasagna all day, watching her soaps.
and then he climbs up the ladder and is looking over, which I get it.
It's just
Again,
immediately a shot
but
goes
it's like,
right between the
Don't
eyes.
expose your face out there. There's some playful sexual tension at that point also between Hot Rod and RC as they scooch the launcher into place.
Weird.
And they get it in place just in time because the Constructicons are merging for the kill.
Devastator.
I mean, the best RC Hot Rod sexual tension is still coming up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which we haven't even touched on. Is RC with
Springer?
Is she with Hot Rod? Is she with anybody? Maybe she just plays the field.
I liked your.
I wouldn't inflict Springer on her. He sucks.
G1 is sexless. Let's admit that first.
Aaron had a theory that Springer and RC are more like a brother-sister relationship.
So I tried to flip that as I was watching this, and I thought maybe it's Hot Rod and RC that are brother sister, because as we see in season 3, if there is a romantic relationship, it seems to be more Springer RC. But
I don't know.
I think Hot Rod and RC have going on whatever like Jesse and James from Team Rocket have going on.
T for T.
Yeah.
I don't get those references, but I think you're exactly right.
Trans for trans.
So
There's a dedicated subgroup of people that will listen to this and be like, yeah.
they fit it in. Welcome to
Listen,
the
I wrote
Autopod
the fanfic
Decepticast
already.
subgroup. Devastator. That's what we got going on. And Springer checks his Google Calendar, or G Calendar as the youths call it, and sees that he has better things.
No, sorry, GCal.
Oh, damn it. He has better things to do tonight than die. In fact, he didn't even schedule that into the day, so he pops off some
You're
rockets.
talking about Google Calendars. The situation is a throuple then. You gotta have a G calendar for your polyamorous.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Polycule.
Yeah.
I like the idea that in his calendar, he wrote die, and then there's a strike through.
Yeah.
Not today.
I canceled that meeting. So they're popping off rockets across the way at Decepticons, but these rockets, they're like the buzzing of flies to Devastator, who rips a hunk of metal from a wall and just throws it at Springer and the crew, and destroying the rocket launcher with all the Autobots barely escaping. Which, we're talking about Daniel near-death moments. This is number 3, because we know Daniel is peeping through that hole up there. First of all, fire from that rocket could have easily
Burned off his face.
Burned off of his face. But we never see him leave that portal.
Like,
He's
you
not on
see
the
him-
ground here.
Right. Well,
And
you see him
Devastator's
standing up there when it launches.
Throwing
though, right?
that metal. That's right where Daniel is.
Oh my God.
No.
Daniel's not in this frame because he is dead.
I've abandoned my boy.
I've abandoned my boy. All right, the battle is continuing to
Chaos.
tear on
Into the night.
into the night.
I never noticed before, like right at the beginning when you said the Dinobots are like running the processing plant, and now I'm just sitting here like, wait, how did they get here? I don't remember.
Well,
Well, they
you're
did.
about to see.
They did call for reinforcements, right?
Yep,
Right.
they're with Optimus.
Okay, we watched
Okay.
the movie twice and
Okay.
took no notes.
We're about to see them in just 1 second.
Were you all imbibing as well?
No,
No.
Stone Cold sober.
That's
Just
We were
high on
just-
life.
You
On
haven't
the
seen
glee
it
of it.
1,000
I will
times.
say that it was on Saturdays where I get up at 4:30 in the morning, and then I didn't watch it until like 8 or 9 at night. So sleep debt, but
Need to
It's
get
a hell of a drug.
it's a hell of a fucking drug, boys.
We got fighting through the night. Even Grapple and Perceptor are in the trenches. Night turns back into day, and at this point, the city is a smoldering skeleton of its former self. Defenses are broken. It's time for the Decepticon slaughter to begin. Slaughter of the Autobots, to be specific.
Thank you. Be specific.
Hark! From the skies above, an Autobot shuttle. Blaster's transmission got through. It's Optimus Prime.
Oh, thank God, Sunstreaker's here.
Sunstreaker. The
Sunstreaker,
Dinobots.
who was with Kup setting up the roadblock, is now piloting the shuttle.
Yes.
Sure.
Hound is also on this shuttle, who is also setting up the roadblock.
It's
fine.
It's a union thing. It's
no wonder the shuttle
the
took so long
bylaws.
to get here.
They had to fly all the way back to Cybertron, get on the shuttle, and fly back.
Oh God, Autobots.
This is the thing. So Optimus orders the Dinobots to destroy Devastator. I don't know what the writers and/or animators had against Snarl, but he's like barely in this.
I can't even remember seeing him like once.
There's a blink and you'll miss it at when Galvatron comes to Autobot City for the second attack. He's there.
Oh, I was thinking he was in the ship, the
Okay.
Quintesson ship later as well.
I think so, but yeah, there's like little flashes, and that's it. I don't know why.
They just really didn't want to animate a Stegosaurus.
It's hard.
It's weird.
Those plates on its back.
That's okay. Acom made him part of the Decepticons in Five Faces of Darkness. Ugh.
No, I love that for him. That's character development.
And I feel like he's also, but they gave him a hot rod color
They gave him
profile.
a hot rod coloring scheme. Yeah.
So they
Oh
don't.
my God.
So they get the order from Prime, destroy Devastator, but they don't really destroy Devastator. In fact, they mostly get their asses handed to them in
Yeah.
this little fight.
I still love the Dinobots. They're my favorite.
It's so good.
Yeah.
They're really great in this movie.
He really
I
just
hate
comes
this
at him with
part.
a flying squirrel.
Ugh, I hate that. I hate that part where Sludge's eyes pop out. Did you guys see
Yeah.
that? It's so annoying.
Yeah, if
Very
nothing else, the Dinobots at least provide a distraction so that Optimus Prime can transform and go seek Megatron for a final showdown. He's got to be
This
stopped.
is a very action-packed
Is this-
first act.
Is this the first time they
Oh,
played
yeah.
the touch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stopped taking notes for a little bit around this time.
Well, because you
It's
just
cool.
get drawn into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's driving on the wrong side of the road. Unless Autobot.
This movie is so easy to watch too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This movie goes down smooth.
Mm-hmm.
So strap in for the iconic Prime goes into truck mode and crashes into a bunch of Decepticons scenes.
I like the reflection of one of the Decepticon cone heads in Optimus's grill as he comes in for the kill.
Smash. We got some cone heads flying all over the place, Insecticons.
Blitzwing is like,
Optimus
nope.
is playing GTA right now.
He really is.
It is 2005. He may have played GTA.
What's the first one? GTA 3, Liberty City Edition,
Mhm.
Autobot City Edition.
Make it happen, Hasbro.
He also does the iconic transforms, rockets fire out of his
Jumps.
thighs,
Mhm.
jumps in the air, and just shoots a bunch of guys in the face.
Yeah, they homage this bit in Bumblebee in the movie. Yeah. It's cool.
He also fires his
fun.
rifle sideways here in a second. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
But it's time.
It is time. One shall stand, one shall fall.
I don't
a
think
phrase that'll be used in every Transformers series after this.
Yep. It's a good line. I don't think I have this in script deviations, but there's a little bit more in this in the original storyboards where Dirge tries to sneak up behind Optimus Prime at this point, and Optimus just like no look grabs him and pile drives him into the ground while he's talking to Megatron. And I'm like, that would have been cool.
Oh, that would
I
have been
want
sick.
that.
Prime, Megatron, they're going to face off, and here's the play-by-play. They kick things off with a little bit of banter. Megatron clicks off his fusion cannon, claiming to crave a bare-handed crushing. Megatron...
What a liar.
No, not Megatron. He's an honorable robot. Megatron lunges at Prime for an early takedown. Hot Rod attempts to get in the ring. Stay away, lad. That's Prime's fight. Prime hurls Megatron into a wall. Megatron finds some loose steel and sends it straight into Prime's paunch.
How long did that take?
Immediately just
30
getting rid of the
seconds?
barehanded. Yeah.
Yeah. He then he takes his fusion cannon off safety and fires at Prime.
Yeah, and
Who-
then just falls off.
Yeah, Prime eventually knocks him into a wall again, and then he finds another cheat code, a laser dagger, and he shanks Prime right in the side where he was stabbed before.
Shanks.
Prime is wincing. He's holding his wound. Megatron goes for a high jump down slash that's met with a tiger uppercut right into the chin.
The grappling.
Such sexy
Haven't
grappling.
seen shit like this since Heavy Metal War.
It's true.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good callback. There's a failed kind of sweep attack by Megatron. It pivots to like a double thigh chest kick. Prime is down, back up, and then just lots of grappling and body slamming, really, for the rest of the
I wish
fight.
there was just a ring of Autobots and Decepticons watching, because that would truly be
Go,
moment.
go.
Some of the angles that they choose are really, there's something there. and I don't know what it
Cock-centric.
It was crotch heavy.
is. Yeah.
Megatron is down. Optimus Prime grabs his rifle. Is it over? Will Optimus Prime finish off Megatron?
No.
Megatron begs for mercy, but he's stalling. He sees something Prime doesn't see, which is a purple pistol right in front of him, obscured by some debris. That's how the Canadians say it. Prime is perplexed. You who are without mercy now plead for it. I thought you were made of sterner stuff. He aims his gun at Megatron, but Hot Rod knows what's up. Jumps into the mix.
Nobody.
Hot Rod, professional hostage.
He's just held back by Megatron as Megatron fires again into Optimus Prime's wounded midsection and chest and maybe face.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a lot of hits here. Megatron tosses Hot Rod to the side, aims gun at Prime's head. It's over, Prime. In what's one of the coolest illustrations of the series, this just battle-damaged Megatron. I love it.
It's pretty gross. Pretty gross.
So they made a battle-damaged head to homage that for the masterpiece Megatron, but the face that came with it has drool coming out. I guess he does have drool.
He does have drool.
Or-
There is drool in this movie.
So I guess that's accurate.
Maybe an instance of yeah, it's
It
accurate.
looks more
but
like semen
did
on
you
the
have-
toy.
Oh god!
Coolant. Let's call it coolant.
I just got done sucking off Unicron.
He hasn't done that yet.
Yeah. God, you got to open wide for that. Okay. Moving on.
Or maybe you don't.
Oh yeah.
What if?
What if this whole thing of Unicrons is just overcompensating for
right
small
Anyway.
robot dick?
Anyway,
Oh Jesus Christ!
SDE.
SRDE.
Yeah. Prime musters the last of his energy to deliver a double-fisted swing to Megatron, knocking him off a cliff 100 or so feet to the ground below. That's it. Megatron is defeated. Prime turned the tide. Soundwave and Rumble pick up their defeated leader and retreat with the other Decepticons. They all hop in Astro Train and get the hell out of here.
These are some
Okay.
of my favorite shots in the entire movie. Are you talking about the same thing, Harper?
Yep.
It's just Rumble running along with the fusion cannon, and then that shot
Yeah.
just as Astro Train's door is shutting of him just sitting there like
yeah.
Yeah. I like
It's a
in
good-
Astro Train how Thrust looks real despondent. He's just sitting on the floor, like just with his hands up, his knees up, looking between his legs. Everybody's pretty upset.
Here
Oh
we-
yeah, I forgot there's a Constructicon carrying.
here we
I
go.
never even saw
Kickback.
that before.
This is a great shot. Yeah, that's great.
yeah, right there.
That's a solid
That's also
gif.
very anime. He's like running with toasts in his mouth.
Oh, it's such a perfect reflection of him being like Megatron's favorite little guy.
Mhm.
Yeah, which is my favorite G1 lore.
Yeah.
Right there.
He's just hugging it.
Oh god.
Okay, things are
Yeah.
about to get serious.
Oh no.
It's like
I think it's really poignant that we're watching the movie where my father, Optimus Prime, dies on Father's Day.
It's true. We were recording this on Father's Day. That's,
Yeah.
and the
To part the curtain a little bit.
That's a famous like Ron Friedman thing where he talks about how Optimus is the daddy of like the Autobots and like how he never wanted to have him killed and thought that it was a big mistake. I don't know if that's in retrospect or if he really said it at the time, but they didn't. And Flint Dilley's also said they didn't really understand and like that it would be such a big deal.
My kids are probably fishing with Hot Rod right now. I'm up here
That's
on
very irresponsible.
I'm up here on Moonbase 2 with you lunkheads.
You're just like Spike.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never noticed this before, but
Cup's butt.
Cup's kind of got it going on. Yeah, you got some
Double
cheeks
cheeked
up
up.
in them double C thick thighs.
He's kind of hiding it below that.
Skirt?
He's not hiding it so
I guess.
much, but
Ron Friedman would always call Optimus Prime a big daddy, which is a weird
Yeah.
way of putting it.
He's a weird
That's not
guy.
Freudian at all.
He's a weird dude.
It's like an Autobot hospice bay or something. Things aren't looking good for Optimus Prime.
Because Ratchet's dead. Who's gonna help him?
Ratchet's
right.
dead, and even Wheeljack is gone. So you
Perceptor's-
got Perceptor.
He's like, I'm not a doctor, though. I can just tell you he's going to
He's
die.
all fucked up.
I can't save him. I can just give you the facts.
Like, he's fucked as shit. I gotta go.
And I don't think you needed him in microscope mode to know that. Just look at the guy.
He has
With-
to watch the cell death.
Yeah. Yeah, it's degenerating very fast. With struggling breath, Prime explains that he will soon join the Matrix, which he is going to pass to Ultra Magnus. Magnus may not be the one, but one day a one will show up that will rise from the ranks and light their darkest hour.
He's
As-
the
I
leader
want
we
to talk
have.
about this a little bit.
Yeah.
Because from my perspective, as somebody who's only seen the movie 2 weeks ago, I now don't understand why everybody hates Hot Rod so much. Because it's not like, Optimus's whole plan was that Ultra Magnus would become the next Prime.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that he's going to hang on to it for a little while.
Right.
Like, I just don't think it's Hot Rod's fault.
Go ahead, Caleb.
I was going to say, I think people are looking at it through the lens of also having watched season 3.
Well,
That's fair.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think
So far, Hot Rod or
Yeah.
Rodimus
Rodimus
seems
is
okay
fine.
to me in
yeah,
season 30.
I think that people are. It's not better that they're looking at it through a bigger picture, but they're shitting on him because of how he is, and
It's just that there's so much love for Optimus Prime.
there's
too.
that,
There's
and there's
love,
also, I think they just blame Hot Rod for Prime dying
yeah,
because he
That's
intervened.
that's it. too.
Right.
Yeah.
But I guess to the other point, like, is it his fault?
I don't think so. And as a kid, I did also blame Hot Rod for Prime's death, kind of. But in rewatching it, I'm like, I think that was a little harsh. I like Hot Rod fine. Like, every time I watch it, I like him a little bit more.
I mean, the fact is, Hot Rod sees that Megatron has a pistol. If Hot Rod doesn't intervene, Megatron's going to use that pistol
True.
anyway.
Sure.
So he's just trying to do what he can, even though he's not nearly strong enough.
And I've said this, like, even with Rodimus compared to Optimus, and even in season 3, Rodimus literally talks to a statue of Optimus saying that he doesn't feel like he's the leader you were. And there is some of that where you can't help but compare, like, I don't know, fairly or unfairly. But in watching it, I'm like, oh, Rodimus isn't bad. He's just different.
It is interesting how the specter of Optimus Prime is always laying heavy over Rodimus Prime and the Autobots in general. Like, he's such a iconic figure to the Autobots that you're always gonna have him as a benchmark.
And something I noticed as Rodimus, and also in watching this as Hot Rod, is Hot Rod, through his faults or whatever, but he always seems to want what's best for everybody and seems to genuinely care about people. So
I think what we came down to last night when we were talking about it is just sometimes the lack of nuance in fandom. Like, you are either a Rodimus stan or a Rodimus hater. Same thing with Megatron, same thing with Optimus, and any really divisive figure. Like, it's either he's perfect and he's done nothing wrong ever, or he's a horrible little slut who sucks.
yeah,
Like,
that's
that's it. That's
Sure.
the only two options.
Yeah. I guess I understand the controversy, but if you're really gonna, like, be that serious about
it's
it,
a lot.
like, come on.
Yeah.
He opens his chest, he being Optimus Prime, and there's a sparkling, glowing device that we've never seen before. It's the Matrix of Leadership. He removes it, he fumbles it, Hot Rod recovers and delivers the rock to Ultra Magnus.
I was like, really, what was Hot Rod supposed to do? Just let it hit the ground?
Right. Which this
He's just a helpful boy.
brought up other thoughts as we covered this initially, which were, did him touching it first sort of bond him to it in a way that's why it became ineffective for Ultra Magnus? Is that a thing that whoever touches it is the one who it connects to, or is it just? I mean, it definitely signals that it's drawn to him in some way.
Does the Matrix have the a mental capacity of a baby duckling?
Yeah, I want. Who else is in the room? I want to see a fanfic of RC getting it. I was gonna say Perceptor because I just wanted to be
that's fun.
A shit starter, but yeah, it would be nice to see RC. Who else is in the room? Daniel could catch it. I don't know.
It would crush Daniel.
It would just smash him though.
Kup is in the room.
Kup is.
He could be a good leader.
Yeah, where would Daniel stash that thing?
I'll try.
I think we know.
No.
I'll try.
I'll try.
Are you insinuating that he would have to insert it in his rectum?
Yes.
His little human rectum?
That was the joke,
yeah,
yes.
Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
I mean, I like the idea that the Matrix is magical enough to resize itself however needed.
Oh.
Still, though, he would have to find
That's still a hunk of metal.
I've had this watch up my
He's gonna
ass.
wear it like a chain the way Galvatron does.
Yeah.
He's gonna swallow it.
In the at least in the
You ate the Philosopher's Stone.
There actually, this is way off topic, but after the comic book run of Infinity War, it's the Infinity Gems are split up, and Drax the Destroyer has the power. Or no, it's Pip who has the Reality Gem, and it's implied he stores it in his asshole. Because they show a picture of him from behind, and they're like, "Where is it?"
I love comic books so much.
It is official. Prime is going night-night. It's sad, emotional, and as his life force leaves him, he just desaturates to gray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
the
an interesting
graying out
choice.
is pretty that's a visual.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nelson. That was a Nelson Shin bit he put in there specifically. And he's like, to symbolize he's dead. I was like, thank you. Yeah, we got it.
I think it works really well.
Yeah, it's
Poor
good.
Daniel.
It's nice.
Smash cut to the other bringer of death.
Yeah.
Yeah, deep space planet Unicron sees all, including the passing of the Matrix from Optimus Prime to Ultra Magnus, which for some reason enrages him.
Because
we don't know why yet.
He's got really personal beef with Ultra Magnus.
He's tapped into the same feed that Laserbeak has.
Ultra Magnus gave him a citation for parking a few years ago, and he's never gotten over it.
Not letting it go.
I was only
This is
here
one of my
for
other
10
favorite
minutes.
scenes in the movie.
I had to get a prescription from the pharmacy. What the fuck is the matter with you?
It was a 15-minute parking zone.
Is this how you get your kicks, big man?
And Ultra Magnus is like, genuinely, yes.
That makes me think of that drunken recording session. I think it's the one where Orson Welles is doing Frozen Peas, and you can find extended
hammered.
versions of that online.
really drunk.
And he's getting
visibly hammered.
He's getting really angry at the director because they keep asking him to do different takes. And I think he says at one point, like, "Is this how you get off telling a man like me to..."
I've never seen this video, but I'd love to.
There's several of them out
I've
there.
got you.
I'll
I've
send
got
it.
Okay.
It
I'll
also-
watch it on our lunch break.
Well, now I'm just thinking of like that I was having a succulent Chinese meal.
I don't know that one.
Oh, God, it's great.
Is it
it's a
Orson Welles?
British guy who's getting arrested, and he's like, "Why are you detaining me? I was enjoying a succulent Chinese meal."
I think I've seen that.
It's fantastic. Do you love me? Are you playing your love games with me? 'Cause I love you a lot. Come get it. Ow. Hello, friends. Co-host Ryan here. Tune in to our next episode, APDC MTMTP Part 2, for the conclusion of our revisiting of the 1986 classic animated film, Transformers, the movie. If you like what we do and would like to show it monetarily, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/APODcast. So many levels of support for you to enjoy. And if you're not into the whole commitment thing, you can check out our merch at our web presence, autopoddecepticast.com/APDC store. I also always put lots of fun things on the website for each episode. Go check that out. I don't know if anybody actually does that. Rate and review us on iTunes and also iTunes. 5 stars, please. And subscribe wherever you find fucking podcasts. How are you even listening to me now? Also, if you haven't, please go and check out our friends' podcast, More Than Meets the Pod, at MTMTPod on Twitter. You won't be sorry. They are the bee's knees. It's fantastic. Go check it out. Finally, we are at APODcast on Twitter and all of the social things. Until next time, listeners. Bye, bye, bye.
Okay, Ryan, I've paid you
Excellent.
for sandwiches and booze. I gave you $50. So does that mean I can make a cocktail?
Yeah, sure.
It's payment for booze past, and now the tab starts for booze present.
We've only done 170 episodes.
I just thought this was part of your donation to the cause.
That's cute.
Okay. Where are we?
Prime's dying.
Prime.
Prime's dying.
Dying.
I'm pretending to care.
Oh,
I am.
Damn.
Optimus Prime was never my favorite, and he's never gonna be my favorite. And this scene is fine.
Yeah. Now I will say this in context. Growing up, you get home. This would be on afternoon cartoons. You'd watch this every day, and you're like, "Oh, there's a movie coming out. This is cool." And you watch it, and this happens. And it didn't like fuck me up, but there's some kids that it really kind of blew their mind. You know.
Oh, I believe it.
I was after he died.
I mean, kids are dum-dums. So.
Yeah. I got over in the movie. I got over it really fast and was ready for the other stuff to happen. But yeah, it was it's a big deal in the lore.
Yeah, I never saw this in the theater, and I'm positive I was already watching season 3 by the time I saw this.
I think you're
because
right.
I rented it from the video store. And season 3 came out in September, and this came out in October or August. I mean, so.
Well, just imagine.
I guess I just knew he was dead already.
Yeah, I think I'm.
Well, I
with
mean,
you
they
there.
refer to it, and
I mean, yeah, kids are dum-dums, but some kids don't have stable father figures.
I was going to say, imagine you're me, no father in the house, and Optimus Prime is your dad.
Oh, I'm laughing. I'm sorry. I mean, oh, really? I'm
That's
sorry.
hilarious.
Sorry, Aaron.
He's the
Listen,
only.
it is funny, but also, like this didn't make me sad when I watched it because I obviously
Kinda
already
knew.
knew the movie's been over for.
And it's been a trope of
35
Optimus
years.
Prime across all continuities since then.
It's
as
kind
well.
of his thing.
Yeah. You get attached to him and then he dies. maybe I should pick a new father figure.
Yeah. His eyes are glowing. His eyes are
And fading.
And fading.
Can you hit us with that screen share?
Oh, sorry about that.
All good.
I mean, we can try to do it from memory, but I think we'll get something
Yeah.
mixed up.
Try to imagine
Oh,
the guys.
100%.
Try to imagine his eyes are glowing.
Try to imagine Ultra Magnus tenderly kissing his hand.
Yeah.
There it is.
Just a little smooch. Give it to us, Magnus.
Cells is the sponsor of Autopod Decepticast. Yes.